Gotcha. All right, Andrew. Yeah, thanks for the invasion. Uh, I know you got your Crucible crew all riled up and letting them know how you're going to just completely dismantle the well, to use your words about Erica, the morons, right? Uh, so
Literally, none of that happened. It's just a bunch of fan fiction from you.
you know you like my fan fiction, but
But that is what it is. It's just fan fiction.
fair, fair.
Yeah.
You got me, man. You got me. You always got me. So, yeah, we're gonna kick this off. I would like you to preface it because a lot of times we don't give you that opportunity. I already gave the TOS statement. Everybody's gonna be on their best behavior with the TOS, um, and everybody knows how you feel about the TOS. It's not your decision. It's just something that has to be done. We know we're in
Yeah.
this dystopic
Look, I
nightmare.
would prefer, yeah, I would prefer that that wasn't the case, but it is the case. So we'll work within the confines of it.
Yeah, Rabbi, I'm glad you grabbed the mic. Actually, you've probably been wanting to talk to Andrew for a little bit, but I want to stick with Andrew. Just preface: you've obviously had a lot of backlash the last couple weeks, which obviously you don't care. You welcome it, and I actually admire that about you. And you're doing this space tonight. Friday night, you could be doing a lot of other things, hanging out with family. So you are one of the hardest working people I know in the industry, and it is to affect culture and a change in culture. So I appreciate the cause. I'm not going to hold back in calling you out for um, co-signing this Fed slop, but outside of that, I appreciate you.
And I don't co-sign the mouth slop. So I mean, there's slop that both of us won't co-sign to, I suppose. You
Fair.
use mouth slop. Yeah, that's how I see it anyway. But yeah, if you want a preface, I'll go ahead and give a preface if you'd like.
Please.
So last time I was in here, I had a very specific proposition, which nobody wanted to actually dive into. Um, I'm not going to give a specific proposition this time. I don't think it's necessary. Rather, I would like to just see where this goes. So what I did, the demand from all of you, from your guys' side, was that I needed to painstakingly go through the evidence. Right, I wasn't familiar enough with the evidence to be making the sorts of claims that I was making. So I did exactly that. I painstakingly went through all the evidence. I watched every minute of footage live of the hearing, right? And I tried to dive in to the counterclaims as well, just to make sure that I was as familiar as possible with the evidence to make sure that if you brought any of that up, I would be able to address any of it, even though I think most of it is tangential and nonsensical. So that's the claim one. Um, so claim two is just that I still have the same exact position, which is that the um, essentially the shooting and the idea that Tyler Robinson was responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk. The evidence is overwhelming, in my opinion, for that. And there's no good evidence or compelling evidence for any alternative theory which has been posited by opposition to date. In other words, what I'm saying is that not only am I making a single one claim, which is that I think that Robinson was the shooter, but an even stronger claim that I've to date heard no counter compelling evidence for any other narrative. So those are two claims that you guys can attack me on if you'd like to. Um, there's a couple of things I'll quickly address. A, is Andrew on the TPUSA payroll? No. So I don't have any ongoing payments from TPUSA. I took a single payment to go down and assist with their debaters for the Pick Up the Mic tour. And my entire capacity for that entire trip, which Rob Nor was with me for, was to just train their debaters how to take on leftists at Pick Up the Mic. And that was it. That was the entirety of my participation. So if any of you had questions about that, happy to field whatever those are too. If you want to talk about whatever my experiences were over there, happy to field all of those too. Um, you know, I think that it's fair to ask me about that. I don't have any problems with it. I just don't think that it's particularly relevant to anything ultimately, and it's just more mouth garbage. So, third, my last claim is that the reason that I think so many people on the opposition side from you guys, which would be people who agree with me, are so pissed off at you people is because when after Trump allocated Antifa to be a terrorist organization, which everybody had wanted him to do on the right forever, we had something of unity between right wingers for a minute. And essentially, Candace Owens and these conspiracy lunatics have destroyed that. They've completely eliminated it and took what could have been the warpath of the right, dismantling left wing NGOs and other things, and made it a complete joke. And instead, we find out that, you know, Unfuck America, who enhances much of this propaganda along with other left wing accounts, many of them are funded by Act Blue. Color me shocked. So those are my claims that I'm willing to put down. I understand that I'm on defense here because I'm making the claims this time. I felt like when I was on offense and allowed you guys to make claims, you just didn't make any, which I found pathetic. So essentially, I'll take the harder position here because I think it's so defensible. And that's my preface.
All right, yeah, I appreciate that. We got a hand, we got a hand up. So I appreciate you doing that preface. I'm glad you could at least admit there that in the prior discussions and debate, now that you've said that you've looked at some things and investigated, I'm glad you can admit that you were kind of talking out of your ass in the
That's
prior
not
in the
literally
prior discussions.
none of that happened. I still think I had a good familiarity with the evidence. I just wanted to make sure that there's no angle in which I was going to let any of you low IQ fucking idiots attack me and get away with it. So that's all.
Okay, well, that's not what people just heard, but we won't go down. We won't. People just heard you say, "Oh, I decided to take the time to look into things." So that's what I heard.
Even
But
further than I already had. Yes.
I got you. All right, Rabbi, what do you got?
No, I was just going to say, listen, I love Andrew Wilson. I love watching his videos. On this one topic, I, of course, disagree with him. And I wanted to ask very quickly a logical question. First of all, how do you account for the fact that there's no physical evidence to back up the Tyler theory? And why do you discount the existence of the null hypothesis? That is, why do you seem to believe there are only two alternatives, there are only two possible theories, Candace's theory or the government's theory?
Well, hang on.
And
We got to do one. Can
we
we
do
do
one
one
at a
at a
time. Yeah.
time?
How do you account for
So let's start
physical
with the
evidence?
second one first, which is the null hypothesis.
No, 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 no. You can
Okay. Hey, no,
let's. All right, go ahead.
one
Go
at a
ahead. Fine.
time. Okay. So, first and foremost, when you're talking about the null hypothesis, this is easily addressed. I didn't postulate there's only two theories. So, I don't know where you came up with that. You just made it up. I just told you out of all theories which have been presented thus far, this is the only one I see any compelling evidence for. So, that's one. The second one is there is physical evidence. I don't know why you think that there isn't physical evidence. I have no idea where you came up with that claim.
Great. Can you present it? I mean,
It's been presented. I mean, the material evidence has been presented. We have photographic, video evidence. You don't consider that physical evidence
of what though?
of Tyler Robinson physically being on the campus of UVU?
A lot of people are on the campus of UVU that day. You got to be more specific, sir. All right.
Was just very specific. I don't know how much more specific I can be than Tyler Robinson was
Right.
on the campus of UVU. That would be physical
Along
evidence.
along with a few thousand
Secondly,
other kids.
secondly, we have the material evidence of the bullet and the bullet fragments, which were taken out of Charlie Kirk. They're 30 caliber rounds. We also have physical evidence, which is DNA
That's not
evidence,
true.
which is taken off the. Yes, it is true. I don't know where you came up with that.
They were not conclusively found to be 30 caliber rounds.
They were too
They were
found
not.
conclusively to be 30 caliber rounds.
They were
You're
not.
lying. Yes, they
I
were
watched the
too.
video.
Okay. I'll tell you what, if I'm lying and they weren't conclusively found to be 30 caliber rounds, demonstrate it right now. I'll be quiet.
I'll find the video. But
You won't be able to find that video because one thing that they're not disagreeing on is that there were 30 caliber rounds. I think that you're confusing that with your dumbass conspiracy. Well, not you specifically, but the dumbass conspiracy of they weren't able to match that round specifically to that rifle barrel, meaning they don't know if it was shot out of that rifle
yes.
specifically.
Okay. Well, then Tell me something.
Is that,
Tell
hang
me
on,
something.
is that actually the case?
That
Did you
could be the
confuse
case.
those
That
two
could be the
facts?
case. However,
Okay.
you got to tell me, why was there no exit wound?
Well, so I can,
A 30
you want to go
caliber
over the
round
30
would produce an exit
You,
wound.
yeah. No, it wouldn't. That you just made that up. Where did you come up with that? There's not there's not anybody, not a single credible ballistics expert on planet Earth who has made that claim. None.
And so I'm either smarter or dumber than every single ballistics expert on the earth. But
I guess.
we need
So
to
can you
figure out which one
demonstrate?
of those it is.
So let's start with the fact that it's a that the caliber here, 30-06, this is what's being claimed that was used. Do you agree with me on this?
Yes.
Okay. Secondarily, do we agree that that caliber has been used since early turn of the century, including in World War One, World War II, and the Korean War?
I'm not familiar,
Do
but
we agree?
I'll take your word for it on this one.
Do you think that the military has done incredible amounts of data sets on that particular caliber because they were used in so many foreign wars?
Most likely.
Okay. And have you reviewed any of the information on flesh entry wounds from the 30-06 caliber and how often they stop inside of flesh entry wounds and cavitations?
Have not.
Then why are you telling me what's possible and what's not? You're not familiar with any of the literature.
Well, are you?
Yes,
You have
I'm very familiar
counter
with the,
information
yes,
you
I
present
have
to me?
literature right here that I can present to you
All right.
if you would like to read through it. 1 second here, I'll pull it up
I'm
for
willing
you.
to look at it. I'm willing to look at it, but
I'd
my
like
point
to
is
see
that
it too
if a
because you
bullet,
smuggled in there flesh entry. You're saying these
Yeah, that's called
milit
a neck wound is a flesh entry, sir.
right?
no, I
There's no
I
problem.
understand that.
But
So you're saying you're looking at all like only neck
So
injuries?
here, you guys, you can follow right along with me if you'd
Mhm.
like to. This particular data point study, I'm pulling it up here on my side. You can pull it up. It's completely public information. This is a report document. Hang on a second. Let me zoom in just a bit. This is for my stream, by the way. I hope you guys don't mind if I set this up so that they can see everything as well.
Yeah, do whatever you need to.
Okay. So this particular one, you got the report date. This is from 2012, Ballistics of 30-06 cartridge. It's authored by Michael Courtney and Amy Courtney. The performing organization is the United States Air Force and the United States Air Force Academy. The paper describes the internal and external terminal ballistics of the 30-06 cartridge, which cartridge, case capacity of 78 to 70 grains of water, operating pressure, etc. Now, inside of this report, there's a whole lot, but I'm going to give you some of the highlights if you'd like to go over them with me. Would you like me to do that for you, sir?
I would actually.
Okay, good. So, first and foremost, hang on a second. I want to make sure I get down to the correct page. You're going to find this on page 14. Starting on page 14, you're going to see FMJ tumbling and fragmentation, and there's a ballistics chart that's for it. Typical behavior of expanding bullets is shown in the red by blue bell curves. This is from figure 17. Highlighted in this report, several effects in tissue significantly increase the retarding force on the bullet. Tissue is about 1,000 times denser than air. Quote, many bullets experience more drag in tissue due to expanding, tumbling, and fragmentation. Bullet penetration requires tissue to be damaged rather than just pushed aside. Thus, while most bullets will travel thousands of yards in air, penetration depths in tissue is measured in inches or feet. Over on wounding potential, which is slide 2, the average retarding force on the bullet can be estimated as the kinetic energy lost divided by the distance over which the energy is lost. So it gives an equation for the drag. We're not able to do a precise equation. The reason that we're not is because we don't know what the exact load of the bullet was. But because we do know that it was, or it likely was, a 150 grain Remington core locked, which has a lead. Basically, this is a lead round with a light copper jacket around it just to keep the round together. It's actually designed to break up. They do they break up often when the jacket is split on impact, especially depending on the type of cavitation. So here we have flesh entry and we have a neck wound a neck bone which contacts the round. This is common. It's not super common, but it's common enough that there's tons of precedent for this with entry wounds when it comes to the 30-06 and flesh drag of the round not exiting. You can even find this on hunting forums if you want to, with 150 grain Remington core lock of various hunters who have shot deer, and there's no exit wound.
Okay. So all you've established is that it's possible, not even likely,
Yeah.
but you haven't shown that
That's all
there's
I need
evidence that
to
that's what
that's all
happened.
I need to establish.
No,
Well,
you
we don't have
See, here's the
access to
thing.
the medical report. We don't have
I
access to the
know,
medical
Andrew.
report.
I know, but here's the thing. If you establish that your theory is possible, your theory doesn't come up any better than basically any other theory on the table right
Well,
now.
first of all, hang on, a couple things. First of all, it's not my theory. What I'm saying is that based on
It's
the
the one you're pushing.
evidence that the state, well, because it's the one that answers the most questions and has the most evidence for it.
I would
But what I've
disagree.
just established for you is that not only is this possible, but it's common enough that it's been seen many times before. And your theory, you would need to provide a counter ballistic data set for the impossibility of the contrary, and you can't.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I don't have to prove impossibility. See, that's where you're
Then
wrong.
it then all you're doing is
If you want to prove in a court of law that this is what happened, you have to assert it through beyond a reasonable doubt. There's
I agree
still a
with that.
ton of reasonable doubt in play here before we kind of spike the football on this theory.
Well, wait a second. Right now, we're not litigating a trial where I can say anything beyond a reasonable doubt. What is my claim, sir? Make sure that you get my claim correct. That out of all theories postulated,
Right.
this particular theory has the most amount of evidence, explains the most amount of things, and has the most compelling amount of evidence in comparison to all contrary theories. If it is the case that I just demonstrated for you that this is a possibility and gave you the data that it is a possibility,
Mhm.
the state's claiming that this is what happened. They're claiming they pulled the 30 cal out. Your initial claim is that a 30-06 would have to penetrate, and that's not true. So, so is it possible or not, sir?
We've already established it's possible. What we're trying to figure out
Okay,
is if it's
great. Then
likely.
your initial claim has been negated. Then
I
the
said there's no
state
physical
actually does have
evidence.
material. Yeah, it does have material physical evidence. It pulled the 30 caliber pieces out of Charlie Kirk. That's material evidence. That's another falsehood. You just made it up.
I disagree that they're 30 caliber. Right? Listen, I understand
You
that there's
disagree
there's
what? With
that
what?
I
What are you
understand that there's a
disagreeing with?
need to believe the government story, but I don't think that the pictures that I've seen of what they pulled out of his neck, I don't see how those can be identified as any round. But
Yeah, but
again,
that's your ignorance and incredulity is not evidence to the contrary. The fact that you don't understand that because a bullet, when it impacts, can shatter into many pieces,
I know that.
does not in any way negate or give any contrary evidence to what the state has presented.
That wasn't my
Uh,
position. I understand
so,
that the
what is
bullets
the
fragment.
position? Was it a 30 caliber or not?
What I'm saying is that once a bullet fragments, it can fragment to the point where it can no longer be identified. And it might
That's
not even
true,
be a
but this
bullet
one
at a
was
certain
not.
point, right?
That's true, but this one was not. This one was able to be identified by both a piece of the copper jacketing
Hmm.
as well as by 4 different pieces of the bullet itself.
All right, I'm gonna take a look at that evidence then. You've spent more time reading this than
Okay.
I have. I'll take a look at that evidence. But still,
No
in
problem, and I
terms of,
appreciate very much
yeah,
the
in,
conversation.
in terms of if I were to take this investigation and I were to make it smaller, it would go much differently. Because
What does that mean?
so if this were not Charlie, if this was not a high profile public figure, if this were a random guy shot in an alley, I would not, I don't think that it would go the way it's going now. It would go much more by the book. They'd be looking at they'd be looking at things like motive, who has capacity, who was
What do
there,
you they
et
looked at
cetera, et
all
cetera.
those things. What do you mean?
Here's the thing though. There's a lot more players that might have motive, and as a matter of fact, there's players that have more motive and more capacity to pull this off.
Like
And
who?
there's players that have capacity to pull this
Who?
off and make it look like someone else did it.
Wait,
And I
who?
don't understand why you would completely discount that possibility.
Well,
Again, I'm not
who?
saying this is definitely the thing that happened. What I'm saying is that the refusal to look at a theory that would explain this better and take into consideration motivation and the current geopolitical realities,
It
it
did
doesn't
take into
it doesn't
consideration
matter if you hold
motivation.
on. It's not what I'm saying is not that you're wrong because you don't agree with this theory. What I'm saying is the vehemence against anyone who wants to look at it, for me, is conspicuous and has always been
Oh,
conspicuous.
okay, I
You know what I'm
understand.
saying?
So,
So just coming out and
okay,
saying
so
that
hang on,
this
I want to
theory
make
is
sure I get it.
definitely false,
Yeah, hang on.
for
Can I make
me,
sure?
is suspicious.
Can I just clarify a couple things here, though?
Sure.
Right? You do realize that there can be some theories which are more viable than others, and that if you, it's fine if you want to question official narratives, but it's not fine if you're casting doubt and you're casting dispersions on somebody who potentially could be innocent. Right? So, like, when people are
No,
saying that
no.
Erica Kirk murdered her husband and was in collusion with Israel and the FBI to do so, yeah,
You
you're
don't
gonna
have
get
to
a
go
lot
to
of fucking
strawman.
pushback.
You don't have to go to
Well,
strawman.
I'm not strawmanning your position.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
giving you an explanation
Hmm.
of contrary theories which have been postulated that are pushed back on.
Hmm.
So, which theories specifically are being pushed back on, then, sir, that you think shouldn't be?
You're arguing from consequences.
What?
You're saying that because this theory might potentially hurt someone if it were accepted, then it must be false.
No, I'm not saying that. What
That's
I'm
what you just
saying is
said.
that you're going to receive more pushback for theories which are postulated that are designed specifically to cast dispersions on somebody's character without any proof than you are theories that are not.
But I'm not talking about theories that cast aspersions on people's
Then which
character.
theories are you talking about?
You want to know? Okay, so first of
Yes.
all, we want to look at state actors. That's my theory. My
What
Well,
theory is
state
that my
even
actors?
theory is
before
that
that,
my
Rabbi, I
theory is
want
that
you to go with your. Andrew wants to hear your theory, but even before that, I would tell Andrew that he needs to be consistent because a lot of this dispersion you're talking about has been cast on Tyler Robinson, and he's innocent until proven guilty, and so he's not. And there's
he,
been way
yeah,
more people have
And there's
been
gonna be a
saying.
lot less pushback
he could be just
if
as
you're
innocent as
if
Erica Kirk is.
if it listen, we can make a couple of concessions. In the eyes of the law, Tyler Robinson is innocent until proven guilty. But you're gonna get a lot less pushback if it's the case that you got a lot of evidence of somebody's guilt versus when you have no evidence of their guilt and you're pushing through, some sort of theory that they're guilty absent evidence. The
But this,
people who are pushing on
Mhm.
Tyler Robinson are pushing on Tyler Robinson because they feel like they have a lot of evidence. They're pushing back against you on the crazy Erica Kirk TPUSA conspiracy
Hold
theories
on,
because they don't think you have any.
hold on. No one here is espousing the crazy Erica Kirk TPUSA conspiracy theories
Then
except
which
you.
theory are we
Okay,
espousing?
my theory is that it was a state actor. We don't even have to go into which
You
one.
mean it's Israel?
We don't have to go
You
into
think
which
it's
one.
Israel?
No, 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 no.
Which one do
My
you think
theory
it
is
is?
that this.
Israel?
Hold on, Andrew. Usually you're very calm and logical. Okay, listen. Trying. I want to be that with you now. My theory is simply that is it looks like a state actor. It looks like a state ordered
Which
assassination.
state?
We don't have to get into that.
Why not?
It's
Because you don't
unnecessary.
want to admit because you don't want to admit you think Israel killed him?
It's
Just say it.
not a necessary part
Just
of the
tell the truth.
question.
Don't lie to me. Don't bullshit me. You think Israel killed him, don't
Andrew,
you?
Andrew, you are becoming uncharacteristically emotional right now.
You are becoming characteristically Weasley. Answer the question.
Andrew,
Do you think Israel killed the guy or do you not think
we're gonna
so?
we're gonna keep it clean and logical. We don't need to get into which state actor at this point.
Okay. So then if I'm going to ask you then if we want to narrow down the theory for which potential state actors, which ones would you say are in the arena?
Irrelevant at this
Which ones
point.
are running?
Irrelevant at this point in the
Okay.
conversation,
Okay,
Andrew.
it's irrelevant.
My point,
So I'm
which I have
supposed to
yet
look
to
into state
establish, and
actors that
which
you
you
won't
seem
name.
to be blocking at the moment, you seem to be afraid to get into this. My
I'm the one afraid to
hypothesis
get into it, huh?
is simply that this event looks very much like a state or ordered assassination. That's it.
Okay, let's go over your evidence for that. What is
All
it?
right. It was extremely public. The assassination was not carried out in private. It was not done when Charlie Kirk was on the John. It was not carried out when he was walking from his house to his car. It was carried out in the full view of television cameras and thousands of onlookers, all with smartphones, and many of whom were recording the incident.
Okay, yeah.
One,
Why would a state actor do that?
for the psychological effect. This is the
So a
same
state
thing with the
actor
JFK
did this.
assassination. JFK
I see.
assassination was the
So,
same. Twin Towers was the
uh huh.
same. Okay.
So it was a sacrifice of some kind.
No, I'm just saying that for the psychological effect, if you have a state actor that's hostile to the United States and you wish to have
Yeah.
a negative psychological effect or demoralization of the people in the United States, one of the best ways to do it is to stage a public and televised assassination.
Got it. So it's public, it's televised. That's your evidence that it was a state actor. What else?
No. Don't put words in my mouth. This is just building the case for why I think it was a state actor. All right. We're in
Great.
the realm
Keep
of
going.
possibility, not likelihood at the moment.
It's not a likelihood, just a possibility.
All right. That's what you
Is
think.
that correct? Is that what you just said?
Let's look.
It's not a likelihood, it's only a possibility. That is what you just said, correct?
Yeah, what I'm talking about right now is only a
So it's not
possibility.
even so you don't think it's even likely?
Okay, Andrew, listen. I
I
want to
just
make
want to
sure.
make
I
sure
want to
that we're
make sure.
clear.
Don't
You're
do
saying
this,
you don't think that it's even
Andrew.
likely
You're
that it was
better
a
than
state
this.
actor. Is
You're
that right?
better than this. Okay.
Can you answer my
You're
question,
better.
dude?
You interrupted me to ask a question while I was
Yeah,
speaking.
because I want the answer. Are you saying that
Andrew.
it's not likely it was a state actor?
Andrew, I'm going to finish my statement and then you're free to ask questions. All right. What I'm doing right now is I'm establishing that my theory is as possible as your theory. And I'm not pushing back and saying that my theory is the right theory. What I'm saying, and I said it before, is that the refusal to look at my theory is conspicuous because there is just as much possibility in my theory as there is in the government theory.
Okay. Do you agree then that we need to establish that your theory has just as much evidence as the theory which is being promoted right now by the state?
Actually, no, not to investigate it. In order to investigate a theory,
Oh, okay. So then how is it just as likely?
hold on. Again, I was clear before. I didn't say likely. I said possible. Right?
How is it just as
When you're
possible if you have no
investigating a
evidence,
murder,
dude?
you investigate all possible scenarios. You don't have to, as a matter of fact, it's exactly the wrong way to investigate a murder is to latch on to one scenario and only investigate that one. What you would be doing,
It depends on the
even with a
scenario.
common retail murder,
Oh
is
my
you'd be
God.
going
Fine.
through
Oh, you
four
know
or
what? I'll
five
just grant
possible
all of
theories.
this so that we're not sitting here for hours. Just tell me what your evidence is as a state actor. Go ahead.
Okay, so why I believe it's state actors. You look at the public way that he was executed, which requires extreme coordination, requires extreme, like really tight knowledge of the security of the event. It requires the ability to pull off a shot like that. You need to hit somebody the first time who's on stage, and you're separated by thousands of people. You don't
None of
know.
that requires a state actor, dude. None of it.
It requires someone who's extremely coordinated, and it
It
requires a
doesn't
group.
require a state actor. You
It
just said it
require. I
required
didn't
a
say it
state
requires
actor.
state actor. I'm saying that it looks like a state actor, Andrew.
Okay, so then if we get it. He was killed in public. What's your other evidence for this that it was a state actor?
I don't think an individual can pull this off. This doesn't
Great.
look like
You don't
somebody pull it
think
off.
an individual incredulity. Got it. What's your evidence?
Well, let's take a look at. So you have the. You're so annoying. All right, so you've got essentially him being killed in public view in a very
Uh-huh.
public way in
Yeah.
a place that is very high security.
Mhm.
Okay, how did the person get past all that?
That's a question. I'm asking you for
That's a
your
question.
evidence.
Right. And part of the answer to that question is going to be evidence. How did that
Great.
person
So what
get
is the
past
evidence?
all the layers of security that were surrounding and
Oh, yeah,
protecting Charlie Kirk
all
the
6
day
police
of?
officers?
How did we have how did we have someone, let's look at it this way. How did we have six foreign iPhones pinged during the event from
Uh-huh.
intelligence agencies?
Great.
How did
Those are
we
all
have
questions.
a
What's the
person
evidence it's a
How
state
did we
actor,
have
dude?
a
Oh my
person
god.
who,
This is
after he was
rambling,
shot,
incoherent nonsense.
dropped to the ground? Hold on a second. Dropped to the ground and started
Mhm.
screaming, "I did it! I did it!" Who turned
Mhm.
out not to have done it. Right? These things all lend themselves to a coordinated effort, and the fact that it was done in such coordinated fashion leads me to believe a state actor.
What's the evidence for that, dude?
Unless you can tell me, a non-state actor that could pull this thing off.
Yeah, okay, I already have. In fact, the state's already told you exactly what events took place. For one thing, it was light security that day, very light. There were 6 cops total. 6. Count them,
Mhm.
6 for thousands of people. Tyler Robinson was able to just walk up on the roof because it wasn't secured.
Why was that?
Pretty easy
Why was that?
because they had terrible security.
Is him Charlie Kirk, the man who received death threats for God knows how long, on this one day
Yes,
happened to
Charlie
have very
Kirk.
light security?
Do you think that Charlie Kirk is immune to human error or any of their security details immune to human error?
I
Instead of
don't.
going with the more plausible solution, which is there's only 6 police officers there,
Mhm.
along with his private security team, which is detailed around him, you go with the fact that it must have been a state foreign actor who sent in commandos to kill him in a coordinated fashion. It's
Now you're
like,
straw manning. Now you're straw
okay,
manning.
then how did it go down, bro? How did the state do it?
Again, you're taking the wrong
Tell me
tack.
how the rogue
You
state
did,
did it.
Andrew. You're doing this retail debater thing where
How
you
did the
demand that I
rogue state
explain.
do it, bro?
Andrew,
Oh
Andrew,
my god.
you're doing this retail debate thing, which is, frankly,
I
it's
don't
this is
care about the
not.
meta. I
This
don't
is
care about the
unbecoming you.
meta.
Okay,
I don't care about the meta. I just
Andrew,
want the evidence,
Andrew,
dude.
Andrew.
Oh
You're
my
doing the
god.
thing where you demand more information than you know anyone can possibly provide, and then
Then
if I
what?
fail to provide it, you're going to use that as an argument that I'm wrong, which is
Okay,
not.
so
That's
I'll tell
not
you what.
logically
I'm
sound.
going to shut up now. I just want you to tell me the evidence so I can write it down for your theory. Go ahead.
Again, we're going to look at who I think might have done it, and the fact that anyone who says that this is completely out of bounds for me is suspicious.
Can you
We're
repeat
not going to
back what
look
I'm
at
asking you to
we're
provide
not
for
going to
me?
look at why I believe this is definitely what happened.
Okay, great.
What I'm
Can you
saying,
real quick,
and
can
the
you I
point that
just
you
want you to make
refuse to
sure
comprehend.
hang on. I want you to make sure that you repeat back to me the specific thing I'm asking you for.
Yes.
What is it?
Okay. So
No. I'm
it
asking
is.
you a question, dude. Specifically, what is it that I'm asking you for here?
You're asking me for evidence that my claim, which
Yes.
is not even my claim, is the correct theory. And I'm telling you, my claim is not that it's the correct theory.
So then why the fuck should I listen to it?
You don't have to listen to it, but we're both here. Okay?
Okay, so to
And
get this right, you're not going to
and
give
if
me any
you
evidence for your
hold
theory?
on, hold on, Andrew, you keep calling it my theory. Okay?
Whose
First of all, it's
theory
not my
is it?
theory. Second of all,
Then whose
I
theory
don't
is
think
it?
you've noticed yet that we're not arguing this theory.
Whose
We're
theory is
arguing,
it?
hold
If it's
on,
not your theory,
Andrew,
dude.
Andrew, again, this is, I have to wonder if you're purposely being obtuse or if this is something that you
How
don't
am I
understand.
the one being obtuse? Whose theory is it if it's not your theory?
Andrew, my point that I've been trying to make for the last 10 minutes is that the theory is possible. All right? It's just as possible as Tyler Robinson is.
It's not,
And
though.
for
If it
that
doesn't have any
reason,
evidence, how could it be just as
what you
possible?
have to prove to get me to stop looking at it is that it's not that it's like not likely, but that it's not possible. Can you prove to me that this theory is not possible because you're demanding that I stop looking at it? And for me to do that, I would need evidence. I wouldn't need evidence that it's possible to keep looking at it or likely or even evidence that it happened to keep looking at it. I would need evidence from you that it's impossible to
I
stop
see.
looking at it.
I understand. So let me make sure I got this right. You would need for me to provide for you enough evidence that it's impossible that a theory that you have no evidence for isn't true. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now that I understand the position, um, I need you to provide me with enough evidence to prove that it's impossible that Donald Trump isn't a lizard person from the planet X, or else I'm going to keep looking into it.
You're actually welcome to keep looking into that.
Okay, great. So you're not going to provide me evidence that that's impossible, then, are you?
Well, because there really is none.
There really isn't what? Any evidence?
Apart
Can I
from the
can
fact
I
that you have
inter
identified
can I
president.
interject?
Wow, wait a second. So to get this right, there's no evidence for that theory, so you're just not going to believe it. Great. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Andrew, there's no evidence that it's impossible.
Rabbi,
There's no evidence that it's impossible, which is why you keep looking into it. Why is
okay, I'll
Charlie
keep
Kirk
looking
different?
into it, bro. I'll
Hey
keep
Why is
Andrew,
looking
Charlie
into
Kirk
whether or
can I
not
interject?
hang
Because this
on, let me
debate's
finish real
not
quick.
going
I'm almost
anywhere.
done. We're almost done.
I know he keeps
You're right.
interrupting.
I will continue to look into whether or not Donald Trump is a lizard person from the planet X because it's not impossible. Got it. I'm glad we're on the same page.
I don't think
Uh,
it's a very high impact theory, but you're
hey,
welcome to look into it if you
can we
want to.
get back to a bit of reality, if you don't
Yeah,
mind?
I would love to. That'd be great. No, the point is that the theory that a state actor was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination is much more likely than Donald Trump being a lizard person, and
No, it's
thus
not.
warrants further
Wait a
investigation.
second. No, by your standard, it's actually not. Your standard
No,
is,
my
and
standard is.
hang on, and I repeated it, and you agreed. Your standard was, you need to provide me with enough evidence to show that this is an impossibility, a theory which I have no evidence for. And you said yes. That's
Yes.
the exact same standard that I'm giving you for Donald Trump being a lizard person from the planet X. You can't provide me with enough evidence, but yet you say that it's less likely than your theory, which has no evidence. Can you explain and reconcile that contradiction, sir?
Sure, because we don't have prior existence of lizard people that's been documented. We don't have evidence of Planet X. We don't know what Planet X is. We
That
do
wouldn't
have
determine that
prior
it's less
evidence
likely.
of states taking part in targeted assassinations, which means not that this theory is likely in objective fashion, the way that you want it to be, but it is more likely than the theory that Donald Trump is a lizard person from Planet X. They're both equally possible.
They're
One of
both
them is
equally
more likely.
possible. Got it. Okay.
One of them is more likely.
But they're both equally possible, but one of them is more likely.
Correct.
Okay, that's a contradiction in and of itself, but I'll just
No,
leave
it
there.
isn't, unless you are having difficulty
How could
with
something
English
be
language.
equal? How the hell could something be equally possible, but one is more likely? I don't understand that, but whatever. I'll just let it go. All right.
Possibility is a binary.
Yeah, that would still not make any sense, but okay. I'll just leave it there.
It's all right. Just take a minute and think about it. It'll come to you. The point that
I
I'm making
will.
is that
I'll
So,
take many
All right,
minutes to
all
think
right,
about it.
Rabbi.
Go ahead,
just
go ahead.
land your plane if you want, and then Muppet.
I just wanted a minute. I missed
Yes.
the start of this, but I heard something that Andrew said that I need to correct. You were talking about the fragment that they found, and or fragments, and the jacket of the bullet.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that we're still inconclusive on that. That doesn't match the rifle.
No. Yeah, that wasn't my claim. Can you repeat back my claim?
That was evidence. I'm pretty sure you used the word that it was
Did
evidence.
I say,
that,
hang on, what
that
was my claim
fragment,
about the fragments?
that it was evidence that he
is
used
evidence.
that.
That
Evidence
is
of-
evidence that he used it. It's just
Evidence
not
of-
evidence that it came from. So here's what happened with the fragments, so that you understand. They
Yeah.
pulled 30 caliber fragments out of Charlie Kirk. That's confirmed. Confirmed into evidence. That is confirmed. What's not confirmed is they're not able, because it's fragmented,
They
to
pulled-
match
they
it
pulled
directly to that
one-
rifle.
They pulled one fragment and the rest was like
That's
just
a lie.
lead. No, they pulled
Yeah,
one
that's-
fragment
no.
and lead core.
No.
Lead core
No.
that you can't
No, they pulled
test
4
lead.
fragments.
Yeah, 4 lead core and 1 bullet jacket.
So 4 fragments, like I just
Yeah,
said.
but you've got 1 fragment out of that you can actually test.
That's
it's
all
not-
that they would need to test and determine it's a 30 caliber, which they did.
And it's inconclusive that it came from that rifle.
Nobody ever made the claim that was matched to the rifle. So you're disputing a claim I never made.
Well, isn't that the whole point?
He's true.
That's
He's
the
telling
whole
truth.
point of it.
Why?
The-
What is the point?
He didn't.
You
He
don't-
didn't
That it-
claim that it matched the
There's
rifle.
many times it is the case in murder investigations that, I happen to be the only guy on the scene with the 9mm. That guy was killed with 9mm, but the 9mm fragmented and it can't be matched to this pistol. That's still plenty of material evidence, dude.
But it's still not evidence that he was killed with a 30 cal. Where's your evidence of that?
Because that's what they pulled out of his body.
But it's not evidence that it's hooked to that gun.
I never made that claim.
Yeah,
But that's the claim that they need to make. That's the evidence of having a bullet fragment.
They're not
tested.
going to be able to match it specifically to that rifle because it was fragmented, and they don't need to.
Well, that's the point, though. There's only 1 bullet fragment.
Okay.
There's
Bro,
only
I just wanna
1
make sure.
casing fragment that
Can
they
you-
can test.
Okay, let's walk through this logically. You're a cop. You kick in the door to my house. I'm standing over my wife with a 9mm handgun, and she has expired. And they pull a 9mm fragments out of her chest. Okay, and they say this bullet is so mangled that we can't actually match it to his pistol. I didn't do the crime then, right?
Well, no, maybe not. because it's
Okay,
not
that's all I
it's not the
needed from
same.
you.
It's not the
That's all I
same
needed from you, bro.
scenario.
That's all I needed from
It's
you,
not the
bro.
same scenario, Andrew.
Same scenario.
Where's Tyler pulling the trigger?
You
Where's
don't
Tyler?
need you
Where's
don't
Tyler
need
with a
to
gun
have,
on the
first of
roof?
all, you don't need to have the direct footage even of him taking the shots. Not even necessary. He went on the campus with an .06 rifle. He
Did he
goes and he
go on the
climbs
campus?
up on the
Where is
building.
he on the
Yes,
campus?
there's footage. They released tons of footage for it from
Can
4
you
different
prove that?
angles.
Can you prove that's him?
Twigs himself said that looks like
He
Tyler
did not.
Robinson to me.
He couldn't.
He did too.
Did he
I watched
confirm it
Twigs.
was?
I watched
Did he
Twigs
confirm it was him?
He said it looks like him, especially the
It
last
looks
two.
like him. Hang on. So let's get back to that. His gay lover can't confirm it's him on a
You mean
CCTV camera.
his gay lover who said it looks just like him can't confirm that it's him.
He
Okay, got
didn't
it.
say it looks just like him. He used
Yes,
the
he
right
did. He said it
wording.
looks like him. He
It
said the
looks
last
like.
two pictures
It
especially look
looks
like
like him. That's
And he's
not.
wearing the same shoes.
Is
And
that?
by the way, his gay
Is that
lover,
Lance saying that's
do you
him?
agree?
That's definitely him.
Do you agree that gay? Well, that's how
Hey.
every lineup works, by the way.
Well, don't you think if Lance was going to confirm it was him, he'd say, "Yeah, no, that's him for sure."
So then all I need to do to get away with a crime is wear sunglasses and a hat, because anybody who identifies me can say, well, I can't be 100%
Lance
sure
was
that's
put
him.
up by the prosecution, man. Did you actually, can you
Yeah.
say that you saw clear CCTV footage that Tyler was on campus?
I saw clear CCTV footage that Tyler was there, yes.
Where? Which
presented
footage are
it
you
in
referring to?
court.
Like
What do
in
you
the
mean?
garage? In the garage?
experts,
On the roof? On what
dude,
footage are you talking about?
you have to shut up or I can't respond.
Yeah, go.
So when you're done, then you can tell me and
Go.
I'll
No,
shut up.
Andrew, he's
What
asking for
footage?
evidence. You
What
do ask
footage
for
are you
evidence a
talking
lot.
Let's
about?
start with the fact that there's footage of this guy all over the campus, right? There is a clear shot of him when he goes and leaves and gets food. He's in the same car, right? They have the license
Hang on,
plate.
when
He's
he leaves
identified.
when he
Bro,
leaves and
you have to
goes gets food,
let me lay it out.
where are you talking about?
Bro, let me lay it out, and then you can respond. Okay. Anyway, he's all over the UVU campus. Yes, they released tons of footage of him on the UVU campus. You're just saying that because he's wearing a hat and sunglasses, it can't be 100% sure.
No, I'm saying
But
it should be
dude, you
4K
have to
clear
let me
footage.
lay it out. Let me get it out, and then you can respond. Lastly, his homosexual boyfriend said, I recognize him from the shoes, especially. You know what's really
From
funny
the
about gay
shoes,
dudes?
especially.
The gay dudes really remember the shoes, bro.
Do you know how many thousands of people wear those shoes? Do you know how many thousands?
How many?
I'm asking you. Do you know?
I don't know. How many?
I'm sure it's more than one.
Well, how many? So 2?
No, that's not the point. I'm asking you.
You're asking me what? How am I supposed to know that?
How common are those shoes? So how can you use that? Like,
because
are you kidding me? You can't say that
so I'm there.
his gay boyfriend didn't confirm it was him 100%.
So if I go and I rob
how did you confirm it?
as long as I'm wearing a hat and I'm wearing sunglasses.
How are you so confident it's him if Lance couldn't confirm it's him?
Because all law enforcement who took the stand claimed that it's him. The fact of the matter is his DNA was found all over that
Which
rooftop.
which law enforcement? Are we talking about Brian Davis or David Hull? Which law enforcement are we talking about?
All law enforcement that took the stand that saw the videotape of him that were
I'm asking you
law
specifically,
enforcement,
which law enforcement officer did you hear him say that?
Every one of them who was on the stand identified that as being Tyler Robinson, as far
No,
as I
they
remember.
No, they
Which
didn't.
one didn't? Which one didn't?
David Hull did, but he's going off hearsay off other agents.
No, I think all of them did. Name the one that didn't.
What, go off hearsay?
So then they did?
Off hearsay?
Oh, then they did then.
Do you know the agent that actually met up with him around midnight?
What?
He had another
what you're asking me.
Tyler, or suspect, we'll call him Tyler, had another interaction with a police officer around midnight, the same night when he came back.
What are you talking about? What are you referencing here?
I'm wondering if you know who that agent is.
I don't know specifically what you're referencing.
When Tyler came back to UVU that night to try and retrieve the weapon, right?
Okay.
Are you with me so far? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah. He was trying to pull into Campus Drive, but they had the street blocked off. And there was another police officer there that had an interaction with him.
Okay.
Do you know that?
Not the details of that interaction. No. What are the
Okay.
details of it?
And so he tried to pull in, and the cop had told him that the road's closed, and he drove away. That police officer doesn't have any body cam footage either. So, but that police
So
officer,
what? So what? What does
I'm
that
get
prove?
that. Well, you don't even know who the police officer is. His name's Wyatt Goforth, and he's from where Tyler's from. He's
What
not
the hell
even
does that have to do with
he's not
anything?
even a local police officer.
I
So
care about this. Why? This is
because
important. Why? How?
because you don't know the details of the case. So
I
you're
intricately
trying
know the
to no,
details of
you're
the
just
case.
trying to argue to me
There
that
might be certain
there was
parts of the
agent
case that I'm not
no,
clear
you just
on, but
argued
yes,
to
I'm
me
pretty
that
good about it.
every agent that you saw in court
Yes,
confirmed that it was Tyler on campus.
they
And that's
did, as far as
no,
as far as I remember. Which one
that's
didn't?
not
And which one didn't?
the only one that did was David Hull.
I don't believe that that's true.
Find me another one.
Okay, we'll pause there real quick. And Corby, I know you wanted to speak, but yeah, Muppet. Well, Andrew actually has to do some little bit of research in the background with finding him another officer.
You want
Corby,
to
we were
argue
talking
these
about the
points and put these
um,
points forward.
yeah, and I want to keep it to like the long form engagement debate that that's preferred, and you guys were talking over each other a little bit there. But Corby, you had your saw you open your mic when you guys were talking about the bullet fragments. Uh, did you have something to add on that?
Yeah, I would say from the pictures that we saw, it looks like there is enough jacket to determine if you could match it to a particular rifle. I could see the rifling around the jacket. You can almost see the full diameter of the boat tail of the round. So it really does look like enough information to be able to match it to a rifle, a specific
That's
rifle.
that's just pure speculation, dude.
Well, when you're an expert, it's not so much
What are
speculation.
you? What are you an expert in?
Firearms.
Okay, and where did you get your expertise for slugging
Uh,
barrels?
20, 20 years of designing and manufacturing rifles
And what do you
for law
what do you
enforcement and the
design?
military.
What do you design and manufacture specifically? What kinds of rifles?
The Fold AR,
Okay,
the only rifle that's capable
you
of.
manufacture AR-15s?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when you manufacture these AR-15s, is it specific to a 5.56 platform?
Multiple calibers.
What are the other calibers that you manufacture?
300 Blackout, 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, 350
Okay.
Legend, 7.62 by
And
39.
you manufacture those uppers as well?
Yes, sir.
Uppers and lowers? Okay, got you. So then can you explain to me why it would be that this isn't speculation on your part, that you yourself, would you be able to match this piece of jacket to this specific Mauser rifle?
Possibly myself, but
So then
certainly
it's
somebody.
speculation. So then speculation again. Maybe. Possibly.
No, I mean, no. What I know is what I see. I see the diameter. I see the rifling,
Mhm.
and if you've already determined what bullet it is, a core lock, then you can go and match it to the rifling of a particular rifle.
Then explain the process for me for how you would match that to the rifling or slug the barrel with something that's that fragmented. I've slugged
Well, it
barrels before
wasn't.
myself, in fact, and I don't know what the process would be for you with just a jacket to slug a barrel.
Well, you got the full jacket. You got the full circumference of the jacket. You've seen it, right? It's got rifling
It does not
at
look
least
like the
on
full
one full side.
circumference. Doesn't look like the full circumference to me at all.
It does to me.
How?
I don't know what pictures you've seen, unless
Most of the
somebody's putting out fake pictures out there.
Where's the where I don't see how you got that from this. Where would
Yeah,
you
if anybody wants to
where
put it in the pill.
Yeah, where are you
So
seeing that there's enough there? Hang on, real quick.
Nonetheless,
I want to
a
make sure that we're
30-06
looking
at
at the same
150
thing.
yards is going to go through a neck. So how do you get around that one?
That's not true ballistically. You just made that up. Show me the
I
ballistics
didn't
on it.
just make
Then
that
show me
up.
the ballistics.
I think he's
Let's see 'em.
established his expertise in this field.
His expertise does not show me the ballistics. And by the way, manufacturing rifles does not give you ballistic expertise. That's insanity.
Yeah, that's true to a degree. Yeah, but certainly
So-
more expertise than most.
Yeah, look, I would agree with this. I worked as a gunsmith for years, okay, but I don't think that gives me ballistic expertise. Nor would I ever.
You
say
worked
that it
as
gives
a
me
gunsmith
ballistic-
for years?
Yeah,
Okay.
many years,
So have you hunted with a 30-06?
many times.
Okay, so you know what it does to a large game, right?
It depends on what you're using in it.
Well, let's just say a 180 grain core lock.
I believe that these were 150 grain core locks, weren't they?
150, even better.
Yeah, 150 grain soft point. Usually that does tons of internal damage.
Yes.
I don't
And
recall,
it usually doesn't do that
actually-
damage until
I
12
actually
inches
don't-
in.
I actually don't recall ever using that specific caliber for deer hunting, to be perfectly
Right.
honest.
It's a little bit big for deer hunting. Yeah.
Wait, did you
Yeah, I
say
don't
12 inches in?
Yeah. Full cavitation between 6 and 12 inches.
Just for
that's
comparison,
only
how thick was
that's
Charlie
only
Kirk's neck?
possible. Wait. That's not what he's saying to you. Is only within the realm of it. It could be. It's possible. Not that it's a sure thing, and that's not always the case.
No one said it
Not
was.
even. And by the way, not even when you're hunting big game. With a standard large caliber rifles are always an exit wound. I don't know where the fuck that came from because that's bullshit.
No, not always an exit wound through 30 inches of flesh.
Right.
And by the way, the
Not even
muscle
through
in
a neck.
animals is way tougher than the
Not
muscle in a
even-
human neck.
Not even through a neck on a large animal is there always an exit wound. That's bullshit too.
But just
Well, you got
just-
6 times the thickness of muscle in even a deer, a normal sized deer. There's 6 times more muscle to go through than a human.
Just to be safe.
Yes, but
just
we
to be
have
safe,
the
what is
ballistic. Hang on. Stop.
But I'm on. Real quick,
No.
Rabbi, hold on,
Go
brother.
ahead. All right.
Calm down, Rabbi. I am willing to entertain this fact that you think that this is ballistically impossible. If you can demonstrate it, I'm listening.
Well, many people have demonstrated it. You just
No,
choose not to look at it, I think.
Show me one who's ballistically demonstrated it.
Okay, I'll pull one up.
No, I don't want to see a video. I want to see a ballistic demonstration.
Okay, so there was 2 that were put out just 2 days ago that showed that the minimum penetration was 15 inches and the maximum was 18 in ballistic gel.
Okay, where can I find these?
I'd have to go find it. I think Ian Carroll had it up from somebody
course.
else.
Yeah, go.
Oh,
It
grab
doesn't
Ian
matter who posted it.
I've asked Ian Carroll multiple times to give me any sort of ballistics on this, and he can't. I have yet to see anybody show ballistically that a soft point 30-06 cannot be stopped in a neck, especially since it has before. And the United
Well,
States
you've also
Army-
got Valhalla VFT and heavy duty country that demonstrated into cow tibula bones, and it passed through every shot that they took with multiple different cartridges.
and that's possible too. The problem
That passed through every single time. And there was another demonstration that came out with five different rounds of 30-06, and it passed through every pork roast
That's
that
meaningless.
they put it in
That's
front of,
meaningless. That's not
including the
scientific.
bone.
That's not scientific testing, dude. And it's
What is
definitely-
scientific
it's
then?
Definitely not.
So
ballistic
buying
testing.
multiple full bone in mannequins, ballistics test dummies with the skeleton inside of it.
That's correct. That's not.
Somebody's
that's
done
not
that too, and it
that's
blew the
not-
head right off.
That's not rigorous scientific testing. And when we're talking about ballistic possibility, you agree with
It's
me?
rigorous, dude. Dude, it's rigorous.
What
When
makes
you
it
go
rigorous?
spend $1,000 on a ballistic test dummy and
That's
you got your
not-
rifle right
Oh
there
my God,
and you
that's
shoot
not
it and the head
scientific
pops
testing, dude.
off,
That's not scientific testing. Come on. They're
dude,
using
your
this-
30-06 theory does not stop in a neck at 150 yards.
prove it
Maybe
ballistically.
at 500 yards. Maybe at 500 yards it
Prove
might stop.
ballistically. The United States military disagrees with you, and I just went through the ballistic.
No, the
data
United
earlier.
States military does not disagree with me.
Okay, then, can we go through this together then?
Go for it.
Okay, great. Can you pull up one more time, since you have ballistic expertise apparently, pull up the ballistics of 30-06 rifle noted by U.S. Air Force Academy by Michael Courtney and Amy Courtney. Then go to page 14. You need to remember and notate, can we agree on a couple of facts? Do you agree with me that 30-06 was used even up to pre-World War I? Hello? Hello? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I can't get off the screen and look something up.
Okay,
on this
well,
conversation.
let me go through this with you again. Okay, so you can look this data up. By the way, the United States military has tons of ballistics on this because this round was used in so many wars. And here's the main thing that you need to focus on. Several effects in tissue significantly increase the retarding force on a bullet. Tissue is 1,000 times denser than air. Many bullets experience more drag in tissue due to expanding, tumbling, and fragmenting. Bullet penetration requires tissue to be damaged rather than just pushed aside. Thus, while most bullets will travel thousands of yards in the air, penetration depths in tissue is measured in inches or feet. The average retarding force on a bullet can be estimated as the kinetic energy lost divided by the distance over which energy is lost. For example, if the bullet loses 500 foot-pounds of energy over a distance of 400 feet, the retarding force due to the aerodynamic drag over the distance is 500 foot-pounds. This can actually be scientifically demonstrated and mathematically demonstrated as an impossibility based on whether or not that particular soft point round, which is known, by the way, for separating when it makes impact, you can ballistically and scientifically prove that not only is this possible, but has happened multiple times before.
Yeah, you can't demonstrate it now. You can't find anybody to demonstrate it right now.
Let me finish. Okay.
I don't need you to finish it. Have you found anybody that can demonstrate it now?
When you're done, I'll finish.
I'm done. Can you find somebody to demonstrate it not passing through?
Right this second, this is what the state's position is, that this is what happened. The round did not pass through, and that's what they pulled out of Charlie Kirk. It's not only possible, but you have the United States military who says that this is possible, that this has happened.
Yeah, well, I definitely have to go read that whole report and see what it's all about.
And
you can find a report on anything, especially from 1913 or wherever you're talking about.
You should definitely.
So look,
all of the reports.
Why can't somebody from your side of the fence go get a ballistics dummy and maybe help one of us pay for it and provide the rifle, since you guys don't have rifles, and we'll provide the ammo, and let's go out there and let's stop a 30-06 round from 150 yards away in the neck.
Why do you not understand that that's not scientific rigorous testing? That's not how that would work.
Okay, we'll buy 10 ballistics test dummies then.
Oh my God, that's
surely 1 out of 10 would stop it, right? 1 out of 100, I don't know.
Science is as useful as the controls that are put in place. What you would need to do, and I think I don't even know what you would have to do specifically to make sure that this was 100% scientifically rigorous, but I can at least make an educated guess at it. That what you would need is specifically that rifle, that particular type of ammunition, that specific load for the ammunition. You would need to make sure that you had the exact minute of angle. You would need to make sure that you knew the exact density of this bone and exactly where the shot placement was. And then you would need to repeat it multitudes of time in order for it to be rigorous scientific testing.
Okay, well, from my backwoods redneck experience in hunting and making rifles and shooting rifles, I know that it's not possible to stop a 30-06 from 150 yards in a human neck.
You can't make that claim. You don't have the ballistics background necessary to make the claim it's impossible. That's ridiculous.
I have the real world experience to know that it's not possible. And so do thousands of other guys who actually hunt with 30-06s know that it's not possible.
Okay, great. Well, all of my experience killing lots of stuff over the years shows me that it is possible. Great. I'm glad we established that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Good
Can I
talking to you.
get 2 more?
Corby,
can I get 2 more minutes?
Hang out for a bit. So what were we, just to reset the space? I'm bringing up some speakers.
I do. Before he goes though, look, we had a rigorous exchange, but I do appreciate the back and forth, and it was nice talking with you. And I hope you have a good day, man.
You too, Andrew.
Andrew, could I just get 2 more minutes?
You still sound like a person who hates leftists. So I think we could probably find some kind of common ground.
Andrew, what
No,
else
I don't
about
hate anybody.
what
Not
else?
even leftists. You don't hate leftists?
No.
Andrew,
None of
what
them?
else about this
No,
case
he's
do
a
you think they
Christian.
put forward that makes you that makes you convinced that it was Tyler?
Well,
Apart
I'm
from
sorry,
the
Muppet.
ballistics.
Before you go, man, I wanted to reset the space a little bit, and don't forget that Andrew still needs to show the footage of Tyler on campus and the officers. So the footage of Tyler on campus, the automobile he's referring to, and the
Yeah, I
officers
think
he's referring
that
to.
was
They showed all of that during the preliminary hearing. What are you talking about?
they're more
Ri-
This
retarded.
isn't even. This is established. Like, what are you talking about?
Right, right. Well, anybody can say something's established. I just know how, when you're debating that you expect somebody to provide evidence of their claims. So I just wanted to hold you to that
This
same
is not
standard.
controversial. It's
Well,
not
clearly it
controversial.
is. It's
No, no,
very
no. It's not
controversial.
controversial that the footage that I'm talking about is the footage referenced in the preliminary hearing. No, everybody has seen it at this point, haven't they?
Well, again, I'm just doing
You're just
housekeeping.
disputing.
I'm not.
You're just disputing that that's Tyler
No, it's
Robinson who's
okay.
in the
I'm
footage, right?
just doing some housekeeping so that way that didn't get lost. If you don't want to, if you want to appeal to ignorance on that and you don't want to look at it or whatever, that's fine. You can do that. But you guys did have that. You and Muppet did have that exchange about the footage, about the
Yeah,
officers.
so far you've got the ballistics and you think that the footage is convincing, which I think it's highly debatable whether the footage is convincing. But is that all you think that
Well,
they
not only
have?
that, it's
What else
not
do you
just
think
a
they have?
matter. Wait, it's not just a matter of the footage being convincing. It's a matter that the investigators themselves, do you understand what it would take for all of these people to be in on this?
I'm not
Like that's
saying
not a
they're in
That's
on
not
that.
yeah, exactly. So, are they just incompetent? Is there another suspect
Maybe.
you can point to? Like,
Well,
what are
no,
we even talking
I'm
about
looking
here?
at the actual footage that they put forward, right? And
Yeah.
if he's walking around campus for whatever length of time, he's going to be caught on multiple cameras in multiple locations
Was.
that should be in like 4K footage. They should have
Well,
his
that's
face clear
well,
as day.
there
Why
we
didn't
have
they
there
produce that?
wait, why would they have that again? Can you
Because
tell me that?
he's in Chick-fil-A. He's walking through the Sorensen building. Have you seen the cameras that are inside that building?
Don't they have the high resolution photo of his
Did
face in
no,
the Chick-fil-A?
we didn't see it. All we saw
I
was
think
the
in the Chick I
grainy,
thought in the
blurry
Chick-fil-A we did have
footage.
it. Let me
All
double check, but I think in the Chick-fil-A we do actually have the footage of his face. Now I could be wrong, but I think that
we
they
haven't
do have
seen.
the footage.
We wouldn't they have put that forward? Wouldn't they have
And I
shown the
was it
clearest image they have?
I thought they did. Hang on a
No.
second.
Well,
Let me
if
double
they
check.
did, it's not conclusive at all. Like the images that we have and the video that we have is not conclusive that it's even Tyler Robinson. So
You mean you hang on. When you say it's not conclusive, do you just mean that
you can't make out
personally
you can't
that you
make out
personally okay.
facial features. You can't make out identifying
And
marks.
are those the only ways to identify a person?
Well, no, I'm saying that's what they should have. If he's on campus walking around,
Why
that's
should they
what
have that?
well they would have. No, I'm not saying they
Why would
should.
they have that? Why
Because
would
of the
they?
camera, are you not even aware of the camera system that they have in the university? Of
I'm aware of it.
Are you aware where they're situated and where he's supposed to have walked? The footage that
Uh,
the footage they
Go
would
ahead.
have would be
Yeah.
crystal clear, and we haven't seen any crystal clear
Hang
footage.
on. Show me the evidence that that is true.
Look at them. I can show you in the Sorensen building the actual cameras that are inside the building, and the cameras that he's
Uh,
walked past, and the cameras that he's supposedly dropped the weapon, there's another building there, which is a UVU building. It's the ROTC building, and it has surveillance cameras on it. He's supposedly walked straight
Yeah. So
past that
what
camera.
if the
We
guy,
haven't seen any of
according,
this footage that
wait.
would have been the
Oh.
crystal clear footage if he was there.
But even if you did have 4K footage, he was wearing sunglasses and a hat.
But you're still
Therefore,
going to see identifying features.
He's not identifiable. He's
He,
wearing
he,
sunglasses and a hat. His Mr.
sunglasses
Potato
and
Head
a
disguise has fooled you.
Andrew, I've been identifying people for the last 10 months. Sunglasses and a hat doesn't stop
You have
you.
been identifying for the last 10
Go have a look at my page.
Okay, that doesn't tell me anything.
Like everybody that was in the audience, everybody that was in the crowd, everybody that was behind the tent, everybody
You're
that
saying,
was
and how did you identify those people? What
through
was the methodology?
a lot of different means. A lot.
Okay, what were they? What were those means?
Facial
How would you
recognition.
so how would you identify Tyler Robinson from the footage which was presented?
I can't.
If you're, let's
That's
say
all.
you're
That's my
detective,
point.
let's say you're
I
the
can't.
detective. Hang on, let's say you're the detective and you're in charge, and they say, "Hey, try to find out who this guy is."
Yeah.
Right? What would you do? Tell me what your methodology would be.
I need a clear image, is what I would say straight away. I need a clear
Great.
image of his face.
Phenomenal police work. So we can't ever identify crimes with people unless we have clear images. Perfect. And we can't ever identify people
That's what.
absent a clear facial
That's
image.
what
That's
you're
insane,
going
dude.
off. That's what you're going off. You're saying
No,
that
I'm not. I'm
you're
not going
saying
off
that
of that.
the images and video we have is conclusive that it's Tyler. So that's what you're going off.
I'm saying that this person has been identified by police as being Tyler Robinson. Being Tyler Robinson because they tie him to multiple parts in the campus. They have the evidence of him going in. They have Lance Twiggs' testimony saying it sure looks an awful lot like him. We have his confessional testimony, himself saying he was there. We found his rifle there. His DNA is all over the rifle and the roof. Like, what the fuck else do you need here?
And who else's DNA is on the rifle?
His grandfather's and Twiggs.
Is it? Is that all?
I mean, it was, I think in comparison to Twigs, though, wasn't it like fucking 30 quintillion or something to one?
We have multiple DNA samples on the weapon.
Yeah.
And hang on, did you just say his DNA? Hang on, did you say his DNA is on scene?
Yes, it was on the rooftop, correct.
What, on the screwdriver?
Not just on the screwdriver. I think they said during the preliminary that there was hands. There was also hands where they found DNA.
No,
I think they did.
No, that was rubbish that they put out at the start, where he jumped off the roof. That was never brought up.
No, not where he jumped off the roof. That's not what I'm saying.
Where else did he leave? Where else did he leave DNA?
Where the sniper perch was.
In the gravel.
I thought they said. Yeah, I thought they had said that there was DNA found there too. I'm going to double check just so that we can make sure.
Well, I already know it was on the screwdriver, and that was it.
Great. So then his DNA was on the roof. Got it.
Right. So then they also found another bullet on a different rooftop. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, a 5.56. It had no line of sight. Yeah.
I did. No. Well, have you looked at that? Because there is a line of sight, 100%. From the computer science.
They would have had to shoot through the tent, dude.
No, they wouldn't have. Not at all. It has the elevation, and it's only 270 meters, and it's straight over the top of where Tyler was.
Show me the angle.
I posted it. Yes, I posted it on my site yesterday.
Post it again. So
I can't post in here at the moment. The comments isn't working.
No, you can. You can just go on my page and just post in the comment of the space.
There is a line of sight.
That.
There is, yeah, I'm telling you, there's a line of sight. You can see it on Google Earth. We've already mapped that out. It's about 270 meters. So, but what I was getting at there, if you're a police officer and you're investigating a shooting and you're looking on rooftops and you find a rooftop with a screwdriver or a rooftop with a bullet on it, what rooftop are you going to declare as the possible crime scene?
It depends on why the round was there.
Okay. Do you know why they say the round was there?
Because an officer ejected it?
An officer cycled his rifle on the rooftop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Do you know the officer that supposedly found the bullet?
The testimony
Um,
showed that was inconclusive, that was speculation on the officer's part.
yeah, of course it's
Well,
sure, it's
it's actually
speculation.
more than speculation. They made up a name. They made up a name of Agent Ben Snyder, who supposedly found the bullet on the rooftop, bagged it, tagged it, and then confirmed that it came from another officer that cycled his rifle while he was on the roof. I don't know.
Okay, so let's break these claims down.
Yeah.
So, you're saying that they claimed that it was an officer, Ben Snyder, who cycled the rifle. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you're saying that this guy doesn't exist?
Well, I can't find him. He's supposed to be an agent for State
Well,
Bureau of Investigation, and he does
so
not
you're
seem
not
to exist.
got it. So you're not claiming he doesn't exist. You're just claiming you can't figure out who he is.
I can't even
But
find a bio on him.
It's just incredulity again. You're not actually giving any counter to this. You're just saying you personally can't find the guy. Great.
But the actual bullet doesn't exist either. The bullet that they supposedly found on the rooftop now doesn't exist either.
What do you mean?
They don't have it. David.
So
what do you mean?
What would they need it for? What do they need it for?
They found a screwdriver on one roof and they found a bullet on another roof.
Yeah. Well, great. One's tied to a crime. One isn't.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Well, a screwdriver's tied to a crime. How did they know that? How did they know that at the time? How did they know that then?
Because the guy was running off of that roof.
No, they didn't even know that then. See, this is your problem. This is your problem. You're arguing points that you don't know about.
The officer came up, okay, when he went up on the roof, he said that he noted that there was a screwdriver.
Which officer is that?
Okay. I think that was the one who was given the testimony. Wasn't Baggin or Baggy or
he wasn't the officer that went up there. It wasn't him.
I'm talking about the testimony which was given. I believe that he was saying when they went up there on the roof itself in the preliminary, this is what they said, that they saw that there was a screwdriver on the roof. But after they determined that this guy through footage had gone off of that roof, they went back up there and they got that screwdriver. So they tied it to the crime. Yes.
They found the bullet at around the same time when they were searching the rooftop.
Nowhere near the location, though.
It's only another 100 meters back. It's the very next building. The car park. The car park where they say Tyler ran across. It's the building that camera is on. It's the building that you're looking at where we see Tyler run across.
What?
It's that actual rooftop. So it's not that far away. That's my point. It's the very next building that they found a bullet on.
They didn't pull a 5.56 out of Charlie.
They didn't pull out a 30-06 either.
They pulled a 30 cal bullet out of him. That's nowhere near a 5.56.
It's not a 30-06. That's the weapon they found.
How do you know that?
Because it's not. It's
okay. What caliber is a 30-06?
30 cal.
Okay, great. It's a 30 cal. What caliber is a 5.56?
What are you talking about now?
What caliber is a 300 blackout?
I think a 300 blackout, isn't that a 30 cal as well? Am I wrong?
The other bullet they found was a 223.
Yeah, 223. Yeah, I don't remember. What is the 300 blackout? Is that closer to a 5.56? I'm not very familiar with that round.
It's 300. It's a 30 caliber.
It's a 30 cal. Okay, so I was right. All right.
So when did he put the gun back together, and why did he leave it?
Did they find a 300 blackout round or something? I don't know why this.
They don't know. Well, 300 blackout is closer to 5.56 if it was found on another roof, and particularly in the case of a fold AR, you can swap the barrels in 2 seconds with no tools and switch from 5.56 to 300 blackout. Same magazine, same bolt.
So you're saying? So hang on. So your operating theory is that he just replaced the upper. They shot him and then
I don't have an operating theory. No, I don't have an operating theory. It is simply that, is there a reasonable doubt? And I think there's established lots of reasonable doubt here, and that's what we're exploring.
That doesn't seem to be any sort of reasonable doubt. How does that play in? The possibility that now you have somebody who had 2 different uppers. They switched the upper from a 300 blackout to a 5.56 after they took the shot. How is like where there's zero evidence for any of that anywhere.
There's zero evidence to show that a 30-06 won't pass through a human neck at 150 yards.
That's not true. I just gave you evidence. I gave you ballistic evidence that that's not the case. And there's been cases of it happening before. And the United States military has been keeping track of this for years and years and years because of how prevalent that round was in both World War I, World War II, and Korea. And Vietnam. We even used 30-06 in Vietnam.
All of these men in the military, you keep appealing to this, but they have obviously military gear on.
That's not expert. Listen, being in the military is not expertise when it comes to ballistics. It's not even expertise.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not saying that. No, my argument is that what you're appealing to with this these wars in the military, they have actual like bulletproof garments and gear and heavy, they're wearing heavy jackets.
No. They're talking about flesh contact specifically, not passing through body armor and shit, dude.
No, fair. I know you've made that claim, but I would want to see that.
I gave you the source multitudes of times that you can pull up.
If the source is valid, it could be replicated by us rednecks.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay, so how did he reassemble the gun? Why would he reassemble the gun and then leave it behind?
What?
So I'm going to do a little housekeeping because there's a lot more people that are requesting. We can do some rapid fire. We just did a little bit of long form exchange with some people I'm familiar with. I'm going to be bringing some people who I'm unfamiliar with. This is not to come up here and just start glazing Andrew and tell him how amazing he is. Because he's proven to not be amazing during this debate. He's getting bodied by Muppet here, clearly, and Rabbi as well.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming on, man. I'm not trying to bully you I'm not trying to. I'm actually interested in your point of view on what you think that they've put forward that's compelling evidence to take it to a trial. That's really what I want to know.
I think he said. So
Yeah.
just gonna go rapid
No, I
fire. A couple
appreciate it.
people have been waiting a while. I'm gonna go with Nicholas because he was on YouTube. He was on YouTube and he wanted to reach out, ask you a question, Andrew. So go ahead, Nicholas.
Yeah, so Andrew, thanks for having me on, by the way. I appreciate it. Andrew, I do have an inconsistency I need to ask you about, and it is how inconsistently inconsistent the arguments are for the conspiracy. How do you deal with it?
I'm not sure what you're actually asking me. You mean the idea that there's the people have alternative events but never have any evidence for any of them? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, like the 90 different inconsistencies that they're inconsistent with.
This is the majority of the problem. The majority of the problem is there are no provable alternative facts to any of that. I've looked and I've talked with these people. I don't know how many times. They actually don't posit anything with evidence ever. Nothing. Not Candace Owens, not Baron Coleman, nobody. All they do is make these absurd, bizarre claims like this gentleman says, it's impossible. It's impossible 30-06 could do this. It's like, but he hasn't ballistically demonstrated that. He just says that he shot some stuff. And it didn't stop it. So therefore it's true. It's like, that's not an evidence-based claim. And it's definitely not scientifically rigorous. But on top of all of that,
okay,
I've yet to hear all these people who pretend that they don't promote some sort of alternative theory. They do actually promote many alternative theories. They just won't stand behind them. That's it.
I can address that, but I want to go to these hands because that view is completely flawed. What Andrew said, and that's fine. Go ahead, John.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Andrew.
Sure.
How do we know? How do you know that Mauser 98 30-06 that they found in the woods ever went on that roof?
You mean as far as the establishment goes, because the evidence points to the fact that it did.
The evidence points that it did. How
Mhm.
does it point that it did when they never seen the gun?
Who
He
never?
kept a
What do you
towel over
mean?
the gun. The gun was never seen. So what evidence shows that that gun ever went on that rooftop?
The fact that he said in text messages that he took the gun up on the rooftop and killed Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
What do you mean?
well,
And then he waited. He was waiting for cops to leave
he
so
didn't
that
say that
he
he
could
took
go.
that gun on the roof. He didn't say that he took that gun on the roof.
So he
He just
was going in to retrieve a different gun that he didn't take on the roof.
he planted that gun. Is what I think. I think he went on that roof with a foldable AR, or like Corby Hall said, with a different barrel on it, maybe a 30 caliber, like you said. But I don't think he ever took that Mauser 98 30-06 on that roof. I think he put it in the woods so that when the bullet come out of Charlie, that it wouldn't match that gun in the woods. That would be his way to get out of it.
Well, I don't understand. How would that help him get out of it when the round that they found was a 30 cal? The fragmented round they pulled out of
Okay.
Charlie was a 30 cal.
All right. When Tyler shot Charlie, did he know it was going to fragment?
Then I don't know.
September 10th, the day
That would
September
that would
10th,
be
the day he
worse.
shot him.
That would be worse for your case, though.
On September 10th, the day he shot him, did he know that bullet was going to come back inconclusive?
No.
Let's say it didn't come back
Well, hang on. The
inconclusive.
bullet. Hang on. Wait. Let's separate a couple things. The bullet did not come back inconclusive. They didn't say. They said the bullet's a 30 caliber. Okay. You're talking
Okay,
about what's the inconclusive part is them saying that that specific bullet was fired from that gun. They couldn't match it specifically to the gun because it's fragmented.
I got you, and I understand that, and yeah, you're correct. But let's just say it did come back, and they could match it to the gun. But let's say when they tried to match it to the gun, it didn't match the gun. Tyler's probably he's probably sitting there thinking, I wish it had to come back to where they can match it. And that way they would see that it didn't come from my
And why
gun
would he
anymore.
want? Then why the hell would he want to retrieve it?
Why would he want to retrieve it? He just made him look. I think he just made it look like he was trying to get it. He put that gun in the woods for them to find. He wanted them to find it
Okay, I'm just going to go with this theory. So then Tyler Robinson went up on the roof and shot Charlie Kirk, right?
with a different gun.
Okay, great.
And I believe that Tyler Robinson did kill Charlie Kirk. Now I do believe that.
Okay, great. So then I don't know what we're arguing then.
I just think that Tyler Robinson poured the magic on over everybody, and a 22-year-old, he's out. He's fooled everybody.
Is there
And he
any
actually
evidence
took a
that
different gun.
that is there any evidence at all that Robinson owns any other rifles, especially a folding AR-15? Any?
No, but hey, there's a lot of people getting guns. I mean, you don't have to go out and purchase a gun. I mean, there's all kinds of ways. Look at all the people here getting guns that they find a way to get a gun if they want one.
Yeah, sure. So I can concede this point. I can concede the point that there are people who have obtained tons and tons and tons of rifles that nobody has any idea about that aren't registered. In fact, I'm even
Mhm.
for that, right? I wish that you'd get rid of registration altogether in any state in which they want to register long arms. But that really doesn't negate the point of there being no evidence whatsoever to support the fact that he had any other firearm whatsoever
There's no
at
proof.
all.
There's no evidence to say that he took that gun on the roof.
Oh,
No one
no,
ever got
no,
to see it.
there is evidence that he took that gun on the roof, yes.
How?
Especially the fact that it was parked in a forest, then he sent text messages saying that he wanted to retrieve that gun, and he said specifically in the text messages that his grandpa wanted him to have a big bore hunting rifle, and that he said, quote, and this from memory, so I guess I can't quote it, I'll paraphrase. But if I remember correctly in those text messages, he said to Twig, well, I guess this proves that this gun basically will will take a person out, which infers that he killed Charlie Kirk with that gun.
I don't believe
Yeah,
he
it'll
did.
take down a big boar, but it'll get stuck in a human neck. All right. So moving
Actually, can I
on.
just pull you up for one
I'm
sec there? That actual
yeah, go
quote
ahead.
actually implies that he'd never fired that rifle before, because what he actually says was, I guess Grandpa's rifle goes okay. So does that sound like he's fired it
No,
before?
that's not the full context of what happened there. I'll pull them up real quick.
Okay, pull it up.
Let's pull up the text messages between Twig and Robinson here.
Yeah, take your
Hang
time.
on. Are you going to pull up
Leslie,
are you pulling up the first ones or the new ones that they changed?
take your time, Andrew. Let Muppet just let him pull up whatever he's gonna pull up. If you need to pull up anything, Muppet, I know you know the case pretty well. You can, but what I want to just keep it moving a little bit. Rabbi, I see your hand up, and Critico. Ryan, my understanding is you're here to push more Fed slop, but I did give you a mic. I might get to you at some point. Um, but thanks for being patient anyway. Sean, if you're here to push Fed slop, then I don't know, but
No Fed
Les.
swap. Just trying to find clarification, brother.
Oh, okay, good. I like it. Leslie, go ahead.
So I have two questions. Andrew, what makes you think that you're more qualified in ballistics than Corby is?
Andrew didn't make that claim. While just keep in mind, Leslie, before you start going
I'm
in on Andrew,
I'm
he is
I'm not.
looking.
I'm
He
asking
is.
you a question
I
very
get it. I get it.
thoroughly.
He is looking something up. So,
Okay.
um, if you do have other questions for people on the panel, or if you just want to, I know he can multitask. If you want to say, if you have more than one question, if you just kind of want to say what you think overall, if you have a theory or if you have evidence of anything, that's kind of the stuff that he's looking for. But I do want to give him some time to do
I mean,
some
that's fine. I
homework.
can wait for him to do it because my
Okay,
questions are
that's
are
fine.
at him. So,
That's
Hey, I
fine.
want
And
and
Ryan,
I've been working
Ryan,
with this whole group of people, like half the people in here I've been working with on this stuff. So,
that's awesome. No, no, I get it. Yeah, that's cool. I want to give you your time for sure, but I also want to be respectful of him looking up.
sure,
And I think he's bossing his wife around in the background too, and I don't want to
of
interrupt
course.
that because
Well, duh.
that's
He's
amazing.
that kind of man right there. That's totally proves what
I
kind of
mean
person
that
he
While
is.
he's
Hey, I
looking
know a guy
that's
something
that
up,
did.
too, I was
Well, hang
wondering
on. Yeah,
if
what kind of person is that?
I mean, why are you so fucking disrespectful to people?
Shut up, bitch.
oi, 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 oi.
Yeah,
Oi,
I mean that exactly. That's what kind of fucking person you are because you have micro penis and you have an
don't,
IQ
Oh,
of
there we
70.
go. Look at that feminism out. Let's get that feminism out of you.
It's not feminism. I'm a fucking
Yeah,
Republican,
Andrew,
you
your dick is
dumbass.
small, Andrew.
It
Oh,
is.
don't,
that
You
comes
have
don't
that
out.
small
go,
How do
dick
you know?
energy
I don't
big
remember
time.
you ever sucking on it.
I never would. You
Yeah,
would
but so I
never.
don't know. I
Hell
don't
would
know. How do you
freeze over
know?
before that shit would
Oh,
happen.
thank
Believe
God for
me.
small miracles. You sound like you're 400 pounds.
I'm 110 pounds, you
Oh, come
douchebag.
on.
You
100,
sound like
don't.
you're about
110 pounds in the gut.
you're the white version of Ben Shapiro.
That's
You're the
nice.
non-Jewish
Don't
version of
go,
That's
Ben
nice.
Shapiro.
don't go,
That's pretty
Burko,
nice.
on
Riding on your
people.
little
There's no,
fucking mini horse.
Muppet, calm down.
oi,
Calm down,
there's
Muppet.
no
Calm
need
down,
for
dude.
that.
No, 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 Muppet. It's fine. It's fine. So Ryan, I will. Oh, Ryan, what happened to Ryan? He got scared. What's up with your buddy Ryan, Andrew? He got scared and ran. Tell him to come back.
He may not know how to hop on X.
No, he was
I
in
just,
here for a while, and then he just
Yeah,
left. Oh
maybe.
no, wait,
Andrew,
he's requesting again. All right.
And I saw him
Andrew,
come
do
up
you
in
reckon you
this.
could get me
Hang on,
on
bro.
Piers Morgan?
Give me a second, bro. Calm down.
I want to get on Piers
See, there
Morgan.
goes that fucking small dick energy.
Well, he just asked me a question. I don't know why you have such wide pussy energy, but anyway,
I
the
don't
question, the
believe me.
question, the
You'd
question
never find
was,
out either.
oh,
That's hilarious.
thank God for
You're
small
so
miracles.
pathetic, dude.
Oh my God, it's like a tic tac down a hallway. Can you just calm down
No.
for 5 seconds?
No, because I don't listen to fucking dumb douchebags with an IQ of
Then
less
why are
than
you here
70.
talking?
Because I asked you a fucking question.
I
That's
thought you
why.
didn't talk to dumb, low IQ douchebags.
I just want to know why you think you're more versed in ballistics than Corby.
Well, first you have to give me an apology and say you're sorry.
I'm not
and
gonna
then I'll-
fucking apologize for
then you
shit.
need to leave, and we'll have a
I'm
respectful
not gonna
woman.
leave for shit.
Then we'll have a respectful woman come
Do
up
you
here.
notice that not one woman has come up here because nobody's let them come up here? And now you're fucking threatened because I'm fucking calling your bitch ass out.
Is this my fault that am I running the space or something?
No,
Well,
you
then
sure act
don't
like you are.
Isn't your criticism leveled towards Uncle Tom?
No, that's at you because you can't even fucking answer a question.
Well, I don't think that I'm going to answer any questions unless you're respectful.
I'm not. I was respectful when I first asked you. Then you started fucking freaking out. So
me? What do you mean? You're the one who started freaking out. You said I was being disrespectful towards my wife because I asked her to grab me a cup of coffee.
Because Uncle Tom said that you were fucking yelling at her in the background. And
Yeah,
I said, that seems like the right kind of. Because you've been a dick this whole entire time.
You mean he told a joke? Uncle Tom told.
What's up, bitches? I'm here. You got something to
Nobody
say?
gives
You
a
can say it
fuck.
to me.
Nobody gives a fuck, dude. Nobody gives a fuck. Go back and make him a sandwich.
Hey, Leslie.
Rude.
Do you have a problem with my husband telling you to drink?
You both need a drink.
Well, talking to retards like you, sure, but I'm just saying,
Sorry,
if you're gonna
bitch.
talk shit,
I'll fucking
you're gonna
own
talk
you.
shit. I'm
You
right
can come
here.
to my house and
You
let's
ain't
talk
gonna
about
do
it.
shit. You're not gonna
I
do
absolutely
shit.
will. I
Okay,
absolutely
where?
will.
When and where?
You come to Colorado.
I ain't going to fucking Colorado, but I will set
Because
something
we don't
up.
want your fucking dirty ass bitch out here.
They might
We
go to
don't- we don't like
Colorado because I think
conspiracy.
Andrew and
We don't
Rachel
want
are
some
friends
douche-
with Victor Marks, so
Victor
maybe they will
Marks,
go to
exactly,
Colorado.
because they're fucking devils.
I don't even know who that is. Do you
He's
want to
lying,
debate?
Devil
Do
demon
you want to
worshippers
debate
that
or do you
fucking
want
are
to
pedos
box?
that traffic children.
Debate
who
or
are they?
box, bitch?
Oh, I'll fucking beat the shit out of you. Like,
No, you
there's
won't.
no qualms about. Oh,
You
yeah,
won't
I
beat
will.
the shit out. No, you won't.
Okay, what? Because you weigh 500 pounds
No,
and you
I'm
can't,
just
and your husband
strong as
bosses you
shit.
fucking around. Who gives a shit? Like, you don't like.
Yeah. Well, then
again,
shut the fuck up about it, you
I'm not
dumb
going to shut up
whore.
about shit. I'm not going to shut up about shit.
Okay, then
You can
just
lick my
embarrass
asshole,
yourself.
bitch. I'm not
Embarrass
embarrassing
yourself
shit.
in this
I'm not
face.
embarrassing
Yes, you
it.
will.
Everybody knows how I am.
Tell us about your brilliant Candace conspiracy theories. I can't wait for Andrew to blow you out of the water. Because you're a
Andrew's a
low
fucking
IQ
douchebag.
retard.
No, that's
You're
you.
dumb.
Again,
No,
I
that's
already
you.
used this.
I'm
I
a
already
best-selling
used all
author,
your
bitch.
stuff
You
that you're
ain't
saying.
shit.
Who gives a shit? Nobody reads your shit. Did your
I'm
husband
an
pay for your fucking
undefeated
publisher?
debater. No,
Yeah,
I'm an
okay.
undefeated debater.
You
I'm a
sound like it.
self-published best-selling author.
500
And
pounds.
I'm 10 times
With
smarter
a
than
fucking
you'll ever
furry
be.
with blue hair, probably. With a husband that beats you.
You can't see me right in the space, you stupid whore.
I haven't beat her in days.
You can see my picture right
Well,
in
you
the
need
space,
to.
you stupid low IQ retard. Jesus.
I'm not gonna go fucking. You can see my picture.
Yeah. Do I look like I have blue hair?
I'm not even looking at your fucking face, dude. It's not worth my time.
It's not worth my time.
You're unimportant. No, you're not important. You're not important.
Okay, Leslie, tell me why you're important. Leslie 2078.
Because I am important, bitch. Everybody fucking
Why?
knows it. Because I'm smarter than you, and I'll fuck you up.
Oh,
mentally and physically.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
you're
well,
a bang up job so far, Leslie.
I can see how well she did
Andrew,
when
you're
I
a
came
fucking
up
piece of shit.
That's very
It's not
mean.
anything,
Leslie,
dude. You're
that hurts
like
my
you don't mean
feelings,
shit,
Leslie.
dude. Your fucking dumbass bitch wife thinks
Oh
that
God!
anybody
All right,
cares what she
Leslie,
thinks.
calm down, because I want to deal with some facts, evidence. I didn't mute. I guess somebody else did, but I want to deal with
I did.
facts. No low blow insults and weird shit. All right, so Ryan, before we continue, Ryan, I know you've been really patient. You're one of the Fed sloppers. I'll respond to you, Ryan. What do you want to say?
I think okay, great. I'm very glad to be here, but I'm actually not here to push Fed slop. You got me all wrong. I think that after watching the trial, I wanted to see if anybody could contest this alternative theory that I think is really plausible. So to me, when you're looking at motivation, I think we all know the way that you tell who has motivation, 9 times out of 10, you follow the money.
100%.
And I was thinking about it and I was saying, who made a lot of money since the death of Charlie Kirk? And I did some sleuthing and I looked at Candace's numbers and her subscribers are through the roof since Charlie Kirk died. And we heard earlier, there was a theory that I think was interesting. It couldn't be disproven. There was a theory that a state might have done it. Now that's true. A state might have done it. It's logically possible, but what's the motivation for a state? It's not so clear to me, but Candace made a lot of money. So I think the real theory is Candace set this all up. That's the thing.
I mean,
if you really think
Ryan,
about
I'll
it,
address it. I'll address it.
Candace set it
I
up.
think,
And
Ryan,
I think that I have at
appreciate the
least as much evidence for that
satire.
theory.
I'm the satire king here.
No, it's not satire.
And I'm the satire king here. I appreciate it. It was a nice try. I'll give you a C. But Andrew, is this the best you could find? This is your
Well, hang
attorney.
on. Well,
This is your
first,
attorney. Are you
first
serious?
and foremost,
You're.
we are under the agreement that you're not muting me in this space, correct?
I didn't mute you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dan. That was me. I didn't realize I was muting everybody.
Yeah, but you don't know, Andrew. You
you.
don't really know how spaces work. Sometimes you have to mute. This guy was going on with this joke.
Hang on,
it wasn't
hang on.
landing.
I want the agreement. I want the agreement that we always have that you're not going to mute me in this space.
I won't mute you, but I have to mute other people.
I
sometimes.
understand that. I'm not saying that you. I don't give a shit about.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
talking
What were
about
you
me.
gonna say? No, I'm not gonna mute you. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, so I pulled up the chat here, right? Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly big meme. I see if he notices bulge UD or UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Robinson says, all right, I'm going to leave it. That really fucking sucks in reference to his rifle. It sure sounds like he used that rifle. So just pointing that out. I wanted to pull up the messages that I saw myself.
What about the other quote, though, that he said about grandpa's rifle? It seems to go okay. Like, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Hang on, I can pull that one up too. But remember, I was going off of just memory.
Yeah,
I actually have them in front of me. 1 second. I thought they caught the person. They grabbed why did you blah blah blah? I've had enough of his hatred. Bit over a week. I've been planning it. Okay, here it is. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I had to leave it in a bush. Boom.
The one before the scope, where he mentions the scope, had a 2K scope. I think it's right before that.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. That's the one that's right before that.
Okay. I might have changed it. In the original one, it says...
No, I think the one that I'm talking about is the one that they introduced in court. I'll see if I can find the exact quote. But, I mean, I think we're both on the same page that he did reference, and again, this is just from memory, but that he did reference indeed that, basically, well, that puts it to rest that this won't do the job, right?
I don't know. I took it the other way that he hadn't fired it before. Something like after.
Oh, here it is. Here, hang on, I got it. Robinson. All right, I'm gonna just leave it. That's really fucking sucks. And then he says, judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a 2K scope.
But does that not imply that he hasn't fired it before?
I don't think it implies that he hasn't fired it. No, I think that he was, because they were talking about a hunting trip and his grandpa saying he said in the text messages that he basically had to have that rifle or his grandpa wanted him to use a different rifle or something. I didn't bring, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's just a detail, just semantics, I guess. You could take it either way. Yeah.
Yeah, in the context, I think I don't see how that means he didn't shoot it. No.
I don't know if it's my turn to go or not, but I wanted to talk to Corby real quick. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. Corby, are you here?
Yes, sir.
So I heard you talking about the penetration of these 30-06 rifles in prey animals. In your opinion, so what is you said 12 to 15 inches is the general depth of these rounds?
Yeah, it's a minimum 12, but maximum probably 18. That's from ballistics test. So animals would be perhaps a little bit shallower.
Minimum 12. Okay, all right. And so, in your entire life, have you ever seen one of these things penetrating any, like stopping a few inches in, or 1 inch, or less than an inch in?
No, not in any type of flesh.
Any type of flesh. Okay. In your opinion, what would the likelihood be of something like that happening?
next to zero from a human neck. And some type of animal like a boar, there's going to be a lot tougher hide and thicker muscle and more dense muscle and bone. But in a human neck, no, it's just not gonna stop. Not from 150 yards.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to double check that.
Yeah, Corby, what was your take on Christian Mortensen, or what on his test that he ran?
I don't think I've seen that one. I may have seen it and just not linked it with his name. But what's kind of the rundown on it?
Yeah, good question. I will put that in the space because that's the most compelling thing that I've seen thus far about any of it. So let me find that, or if somebody has it, they can put it up above. So that girl, I'm just gonna do rapid fire. I don't know what Andrew's doing right now, but I'm gonna do rapid fire real quick. Go ahead, that girl.
Hey, thanks for bringing me on. Hope everybody's having a good night. Is Andrew on here?
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew. Always a pleasure talking. Hello.
You too. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing tonight?
Just living the fucking dream.
Okay, that's good. Good. Listen, I just have a question. My position is always a little different than everybody else's. You guys might come back and, hey, Tyler Robinson's guilty. I just think there's more to it than meets the eye, which is why. So do you think that it was normal that during the last few moments of Charlie Kirk's life, when the security team should have been calling 911, maybe calling the hospital?
Haven't we discussed this before?
Well, hold on, I'm not done yet. Right. Ben Shapiro came out and listen, I didn't tell him to say it. He came out and said that his security team was receiving updates from Charlie's security team while Charlie was in the back of the unequipped SUV after they tossed him in there like a side of beef. So do you think that's normal? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that's something that's okay, that shows that these people were really concerned about keeping Charlie alive?
Just to clarify real quick, didn't Tim Pool say that too?
Even worse. So they just were on the phone with everybody. Not the
Casey, remember that Victor's receiving information on the fly too.
Right. Yeah. So there's just it's conversations with everybody except for the hospital. They didn't call 911. I mean, I didn't ask these people to say. I don't know why Tim Pool came when he added that in. It made it even worse for me. I was like, oh, so they just were talking to everybody, but who they should have been talking to. Is this something that shows a group of people who were trying to save Charlie Kirk's life?
Well, I don't think that's evidence they weren't trying to save his life. No.
How do you save somebody's life while talking to Ben Shapiro's security team?
Let's start.
You know
with
what I mean?
Yeah, let's get a couple things clarified so that we can see if we can separate fact from fiction. Because I've heard you make this claim many times. You say the security team, nobody on it ever called 911. Is that correct?
Yes, there's many calls to 911. People went through the calls, and not a single person from the security team called 911. Worse yet, Blake Neff even told me he didn't even call 911, but I wasn't really asking about him. But he told me that he didn't think it was important to call.
911 had been called
by a bunch of people in the audience, children, people who were scared. Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
I would have called too.
So my understanding from what Shapiro's saying, and I'm no defender of Shapiro, was just that these guys were all worried potentially about their safety, and their security teams all know each other, so they were sharing communication. That's my understanding of it.
Right. Which I have no problem with, except for the fact when Shapiro added, while Charlie was in the back of the truck or the car. Of course, debriefing with other security teams. Well, absolutely, I expect that.
He may have gotten that detail wrong too.
He's a very literal man, and I think that he said it. To be honest, I think he said it on purpose because I feel like that might be something that comes up later. But that is a KC speculation without any kind of evidence to prove that. But
we don't even actually have any evidence. We don't actually even have any evidence that these calls took place at all, right?
Why would Shapiro lie like that and insert himself?
I have no clue if he's lying, if he's not lying, this or that. We don't have enough information on it. We would just be speculating.
Right. But it is and I'll just end it here, but it is pointless for him to say it if it wasn't true. It actually makes the whole situation look worse. So So therefore, again, these people, they couldn't have been focused on saving Charlie's life.
Well, that's
If
where
they
you
had
move.
time to
That's where
call.
you're moving into speculation, though. It's like them sharing information from the security team. Therefore, that means that they weren't interested in saving Charlie Kirk's life. That's where you move from an oddity into something which is speculatory and requires actual good evidence to prove.
Well, the actual good evidence and the requirement would be totally focused on Charlie Kirk. And again, using your phone to call the hospital, especially you have it. Now, this isn't like I'm in the back of the car, right? Father God, please never treat me like this. If something like this happens to me, people, this is not the standards. This is not acceptable. Don't accept this kind of business for your family either. But anyway, this is Charlie Kirk. So you would think they would even call the hospital to let them know we're bringing in this celebrity, somebody of high status to your hospital. But instead, and he said while Charlie was in the car, they were talking to his security team. That is not normal. And again, it shows a level of not just distraction, but just carelessness, like, I don't know how you're trying to save a life and you're thinking of other people. And then Tim Pool said, well, they called mine too. So they were chit-chatting with everybody instead of focusing on making the proper calls to the proper authorities to get, to get Charlie some real help.
I use security myself, but I don't think that I use anybody who any of these people use. I use like private people who I know. But I don't know exactly how they share information or how interconnected they are. I don't have all the details on that yet. Nobody does.
All right, Casey, I gotta move on.
Andrew.
Casey.
I know you did. I know, but all right, let me have the last word.
Yeah.
I just want to say good night to
Casey.
Andrew.
No
Can I
last
just
word.
say
It's
good
always
night?
last word with you. It's Casey. I'm
Can
sorry.
I just say good night? Can I just thank you for letting me come up? Thank you, Andrew. Always a pleasure. And I'll be around again. I'm not going too far.
Say good night to Rachel
Well,
too.
we can talk again in the future, Casey. I got no problems with you, as you know.
For sure. No, I don't have any problems with you either. I look forward to talking to you in the future.
And
All
people
right,
can go sub to her channel too. She is a creator. She has a YouTube channel. Sub to that. Sean,
thank
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, so I was just gonna give it from an executive protection aspect. Being in executive protection, a lot of our agencies are very, very close. Now, whether you're guarding a diplomat or guarding just a high value person, you are going to be in contact with your home base. You're going to be in contact through radio, through everyone else on the team. So updates are going to be pushed through the radio, which in turn could be guys on the ground because their radios are going to last 2 to 4 miles. So those guys, even though they're in the car speeding away, they can be giving an update on that headset to the guys on the ground, which are then communicating with the rest of the teams. Because when you're in that atmosphere, similar or same companies, they're calling like Tim Pool, they're calling Ben Shapiro, they're saying, hey, there's a threat out. Charlie Kirk just got shot. That's where this is coming from. I believe that's what the aspect would come out to be. I don't think that guys are sitting there with one hand on his fucking neck and then, their hand on his cell phone. Hey, what's up, Ben? Just want to let you know Charlie's about to die. No, that's stupid. That's just nonsense. The way that you got to look at executive protection is you have to warn all your assets, especially if they're in the same realm, if that makes sense. Really quick, I wanted to ask one question about you said there was another bullet. They said there was another rifle round found on an adjacent rooftop above where Tyler Robinson was, correct? That was found later on. Now that I believe was it says a rifle round, which means a full round, not a spent round, not a bullet,
Correct.
not a casing. So therefore, it was ejected probably when one of the cops got his rifle, went to the highest point, which is where you want to be to get an overwatch. He will then rifle around, or he'll rack around to make sure that he has a round in the chamber. Now, if he already had a round in there, cool, he ejected one. I think that's where that round on the other rooftop came, because it doesn't say that it was a spent shell.
That's what they say it came from. They say it came from
Okay.
a cycled officer's weapon. That's one. And then secondarily, if this is a professional assassin who's capable of switching out uppers in order to, and then, leave behind breadcrumbs or something, why would he leave the round behind? He's
Right.
professional enough to have a rifle, which he can then switch between a 30 cal 300 blackout over to a 5.56. Why would he leave the round? That makes no sense.
And
some pro he is.
The last thing I was going to call into was the description of the clothing he was wearing. Now, anybody within the security field, military, tracking, any of that, or police, the number one thing you're going to look at, especially when you have a suspect running away or you got to give a description, you always want to get the shoes. Now, people might think it's weird, but that's how we track insurgents over in the Middle East. It's fucking weird. You might think it's crazy, but anyone else that's been in the Middle East knows this. You see the shoes and you're going to notice them. All right. The way that they tracked him were the shoes and the pants he was wearing. He didn't change those. That is one of the hardest items to change when someone is trying to change an outfit or their appearance. Now they found the shirt, they found gunshot residue on him and on his clothes that they confiscated. So this is where I'm looking at Tyler Robinson. But again, I can't draw a definite conclusion. This whole thing is fucking nuts. But
Yeah, I'd agree.
the,
Thanks, Sean. I
yeah,
appreciate it. I
I
mean,
appreciate it. Thanks, man.
yeah, no problem, no
Yep.
problem. I mean, most of us know that this is mostly just nonsense because in most really, yeah, especially a case like this, you would have a cell tower data. You'd pull the reports from the cell towers. You know, there would be none of this guesswork. So Andrew knows this, but
Wait, what guesswork?
about people's whereabouts and where they were and what time they were and like the text messages and the metadata from the text.
It doesn't seem like they're doing much in the way of guessing. Seems like they have a pretty firm established timeline that they submitted in
No,
these
they
hearings.
actually
What do you
don't
mean?
have.
That last guy just made a whole heap of guesses. Like, where's the gunshot residue on Tyler's clothes? Can you show me where they'd have that?
Well, first of all, even with this argument, the reason this one's bad is even if that's not there's no determination that they didn't do such a test just because he didn't submit it in the hearing. That's one.
No, they don't have it. So what he just
How do you
said.
know? How do you
Well,
know?
he just used that as a point to say, "Oh, it was definitely Tyler." They found gunshot residue on his clothes. That didn't happen. Okay, I'm just making that point.
I don't recall him saying that.
He just said it 30 seconds ago.
He
Am I crazy? He said that they found
He literally
gunshot
just said
residue on his clothes. Who said
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I listen to people, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but I actually didn't hear him say that they found gunshot residue
Can
on the
you?
clothes.
Maybe I misheard it. Can you?
I thought
Can
he
you
said that
repeat
he
what you
changed
said?
clothes. I thought, yeah, he was saying that the two
He said.
clothing parts to change are
Yeah.
the shoes and the pants, and that's what they utilized to track him.
Yeah, and how? What
do you
is
mean?
No,
How?
it's okay. I'll be honest, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because if you want to track somebody, you just look at the cell phone towers or so that to me is just kind of silly. We're looking
Yeah,
at
and that
shoes.
wasn't the point. I was just clearing up the point. There's no gunshot
I know.
residue found
I
on
know.
his clothes.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe I just missed it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
I think you
but
missed it.
isn't like the only evidence that Andrew has? He's saying that basically Tyler admitted to it, and then but you guys are like, okay, we could just be using all this metadata to figure out where everyone is. But what that Twigs kid, he's like, he's just in court said, oh, I went to bed at 7 a.m. Then I woke up at 1. Like, where was he that whole time? Like, how do we know I mean, he was close with Tyler. I'm just saying, how do you know he didn't send any messages from Tyler's phone? But even besides that, the question I wanted to ask you, Andrew, is
Well, because they pulled all the information off of Tyler's phone. I assume that the state would have submitted that if there was additional evidence that they thought was pertinent to the case.
yeah, I'm not sure about that, so I'm not going to pretend to be. But I do know
Well, they
that like,
did. They sent they had a private company pull all of the data off the phone. I think it was Celebrite. They had them pull all the data off of the phone, so they didn't just have the pictures that they took of the messages, but they actually pulled the raw data as well. And then in the hearing, they also said that they did ask Discord for the messages.
well, what I was going to ask you besides that is, what do you think? So, with everything you've seen, you think it's kind of open and shut? There's really like no need for, even though there's going to be, of course, like actual court hearings and stuff like that. But like
Mhm.
from what you've seen, you think it's just open and shut, really no further investigation needed, or what?
No, I don't think so. I'm even willing to entertain the idea of a conspiracy. It's just that what's bizarre to me is that the evidence for conspiracy that I would be looking at, I'd be looking at things like who are these Discord groups? Who are the people involved in the Discord groups? Do they have leftist ties? Things like this, as radical leftists have been known to kill conservatives, and they do it often. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so
We're
you
like
would
attracted to
use
us.
conclusion basically to try to
I'm not
solve
using
it. That
any.
is
I'm
using
not
a
using.
conclusion.
It's not using a conclusion. It's me. That would be investigating. Still saying, okay, who are these people who were in communication with Robinson? There could be some collusion there. There could be at least a strong. That seems like that's a stronger case to make for conspiracy than like Israel killed him or a state actor or something like this, where there's no evidence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even like anti Tyler Robinson did it or was involved. To what degree, I don't really know. But like, okay, with like the George Zinn thing, like the dude is like a professional patsy. He is like objectively connected. I don't know if that's the right word, but like the Boston Marathon, right after that, he called in a bomb. It was actually somewhere in Utah to another
Yeah, this
college. I don't
guy
think
was
it
a
was.
fucking he was a nutcase who was known to create spectacles at various events. He's
But he was
known to
on the
do this.
ground at 9/11 too, though, like literally
Yeah,
there. I
he's
mean, it's
known. Listen, it is known that this guy is a nutcase who has gone and disturbed events many, many, many times. He's well known to police. He's well known to law enforcement.
but doesn't it seem a little more than like just random coincidence, or you saying that's a stretch?
I'm saying there's no evidence that this guy was in any way, shape, or form involved in actually shooting Kirk.
No, of course he didn't shoot Kirk. That's what I'm saying.
Or
But it
involved in a
seems
conspiracy to kill Kirk either. There's
so
no
you do
evidence
think it
for it.
was. You think he's just totally independent? Well, the evidence is Charlie Kirk got shot in the throat, and the dude stands up and says, "I shot him. Shoot me. Shoot me." I
Yeah,
mean, what do you?
he's a lunatic. Like that's an
I mean, that's a
aberration.
convenient
Listen,
dude. That's so
I
disingenuous to
agree
say
with
something
you
like
that
that.
that's an aberration, but can you explain the aberration is the question, and it seems like we can. This guy is
That it could have possibly been
he's a
a
known
fucking
nutcase.
military grade assassination,
Well,
and there's
that's
fucking all types of
see what I
patsies.
mean? Like that's
You're not willing to entertain that?
once you guys move on to that, I'm willing to entertain anything. If anybody ever has any fucking evidence for their claims, I'd
Well,
be
we're
willing
sitting
to
here
entertain
telling you
them.
this fucking guy. Hold on. What? I'm sitting here telling you, you agree. You know that he's fucking calling in bomb threats. He's on the fucking ground at 9/11, and now he stands up and says, "Hey, I shot Kirk." Gives the time for whoever shot Kirk to get the fuck away. And not to mention, just so you know, these rifles come in a couple different sizes. It's anywhere from 44 inches to 50 inches. That's 4 fucking feet long. I've seen no video with this dude running away with a 4-foot fucking gun, dude. This shit is crazy. And then where'd the box come from? I mean, even a towel's barely going to
Can
conceal that.
we back up first? Where's the evidence of foreign conspiracy?
When did I say foreign conspiracy? I said there's a
Okay.
dude that we objectively
No,
know
that's not what you
stood up.
said. You said, or it could be a huge military operation. That's your
I'm just
exact
saying
words.
because of the patsy. I'm saying George Zinn makes me very curious. Is that
I
not reasonable?
understand that could make a person curious and they'd want to look for an explanation for the aberration. But the question is like, what link it to something? What are we linking it to?
I'm
What?
linking him to be a professional patsy because he was on the ground at 9/11, and then right
But
after the
he's not
Boston
the
bombing.
patsy, right? You're in your view, it would be Robinson who's the patsy, yeah?
I don't know. I already told you. I don't know why you're putting words in my mouth. I told you. I said, look, I could get behind Tyler Robinson shot him, and of course he's
No.
involved to some
Robinson would
degree.
have to be the patsy. He's the guy getting prosecuted. The other guy would be what, like a decoy, a distraction
No,
or
that would
something,
be
right?
no. That's if he got away. He didn't get away. Obviously, he's fucking arrested in jail. So that would make George Zinn the patsy. It was just unsuccessful.
No, that would make him a decoy.
That would make him a decoy.
Okay, my bad. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Dude.
he would be the decoy, and then Robinson in this scenario would be the patsy.
Well, either or, dude. I'm just saying it's strange the fucking guy is there.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
it's
I
like,
understand that there's an aberration there and that you want to link the aberration into something. And I'm willing to hear the evidence for linking this aberration to something.
no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say this shit is fucking weird, dude. And then am I supposed to believe? I'm supposed to believe that he's just fucking crazy and he just pops up as this shit and like because the only other
He
alternative
has a
is
long track record of doing it.
which is very curious.
It's curious that a leftist lunatic has a long track record of acting like a lunatic.
What makes him leftist?
I think
Did
that's
you see him? He looked like a fucking
I
mechanic.
think that's what the stated political affiliation for the guy is, or at least that's what he's known as.
No, he's a Republican.
Let's see.
But hold on, didn't even Twigs himself say in court like yesterday or today that like Tyler Robinson has never said anything about LGBTQ or all this stuff that they've been telling us he was in the news and whatnot?
Who's been telling you this in the news?
I mean,
Propagandist.
everybody, they've been calling him, it's this leftist trans shooter. That's what they've been calling him.
Well, they said, well, he's linked to a trans. He's humping a trans, right?
Right, but he himself is not those things.
Well, I mean, leftist. Yes, I would say he's a leftist
By what definition?
based on his political affiliation and the motivation he gave, where he said that he killed Charlie Kirk based on the fact that Charlie Kirk was against LGBTQ rights, essentially.
Okay, that's fair and whatnot, but it's just crazy to me that they have how many cameras on that campus and we can't get one clear image. The dude's like, I mean, this is wild. I don't see, they've yet to show us a clear image of this dude's face, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. He sent these
Thank
text
you,
messages.
Critical. Thank you, Critical. We did talk about that. Muppet talked about that in depth. I don't want to jump around. I want to be respectful of Andrew's time. Jordan, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me. Sorry. Thank you for having me on. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, if I'm going to buy the Tyler Robinson story, the biggest issue I have right now is building a bridge between the guy in the maroon shirt and the guy in the black shirt. Can you help me out?
Okay. What's the problem with? First of all, I don't know what you're referencing.
So
walk me through it.
in the doorbell cam footage and some of the security cam footage, we have the two figures who are claimed to be Tyler Robinson. One is wearing the maroon shirt, and it definitely does look like Tyler Robinson. But the guy in the black shirt with the flag, who is the actual suspect, who actually appears to go onto the roof and maybe hops off the roof, I don't know who that is.
I specifically walk me through this from the who's giving this testimony and what camera footage that we're talking about.
The camera footage presented in the hearing.
Yeah, which camera footage though?
So the stairwell footage, the parking garage footage, that's mostly the guy in the black shirt. And then the doorbell camera contains both of them.
Okay. Let's pull it up so that we know exactly what you're referencing.
All right. So we'll wait for someone to pull that up. Jordan, I guess will be easiest for you to pull that up, or Andrew might be pulling it up. In the meantime,
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Cool. Housekeeping. There's a lot of requests coming in. That's great. I do have to address, well, I'll wait for that. But when you cut, this isn't for people who want to come up here and just tell Andrew how amazing he is.
Yeah, it's for
and-
ops. People want to argue about this shit.
Exactly. So if you think there's inconsistencies with the Fed narrative, then that's who Andrew would like to speak with. Melanie, I see you requesting like a whole bunch. Seems like you're obsessed with Andrew. Not going to approve your mic. You have Candace hate all over your timeline. None of that is needed. Actually, I can.
No, I don't know why. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, it's cool. I was just gonna I'll just address that real quick. If we had a 4K, if we had Tyler Robinson in 4K taking the shot, then which we do not have in 4K, very clear. We do not have this. If we had it though, we would assume that people would want to see it. Therefore, if any independent investigator could provide that, there's nobody who would turn that away. Therefore, Candace is a net positive because she is most likely to create awareness and create this channel and avenue for that to be uncovered if that were to exist. So she's a net positive. So Melanie, you don't, I'm not letting you up with the Candace hate. She's bringing awareness to her friend that passed, and that's what matters.
A little bit of bias going on there.
Not bias. It's just a fact. Would you want Tyler? Would you want Tyler in 4K? Would you want a picture of him in 4K?
that's not where the bias is. I'm talking about your bias of not pulling her up because she might be meansy about Candace Owens.
Yeah, because it's just because I know it's flawed logic to have that stand. So there's no
Oh, it's
sense in
flawed logic, huh?
Well, it's his
tell
space.
me
He
how
doesn't have to bring people up.
tell me how it's not flawed. I mean, just you repeating what I said while you think of something is just you're just stalling. You can't think of anything.
Were you making the claim that what is flawed logic? The fact that she thinks that Candace
That
Owens
more
doesn't have
awareness and more tips and
uh-huh.
more clues and more pictures and more evidence is better than not, and more people.
Yeah, Candace isn't providing more evidence
Well,
or proof or
well,
pictures of anything. What are you talking
even
about?
if she was providing enough hate and rage investigation for people who want to shut her down to get pictures of Tyler in 4K, that would be better. That would be fine.
Nobody's calling to not have pictures of Tyler in 4K.
Exactly. You only get that through making contact and having channels for that to be produced and creating
Whoever is
awareness.
saying they don't want a picture of Tyler in 4K, and why is Candace Owens necessary?
No, that
for
was
us to
my
get that
argument,
picture?
is that you wouldn't refuse it if Candace had it, and she provided images from behind Charlie, so I can give actual examples of things that she provided that nobody else had access to and nobody else was transparent about, especially not certain agencies that we won't talk about that didn't provide that. So us concerned citizens, I know me included, I'm not
You mean
invested.
hang on, are you talking about the footage that she took in a private viewing?
No, I'm just talking about that she obtained. I could list about many other
Wasn't
things.
that from a private viewing?
Does it even matter?
I think it does matter.
Why?
Because it could be pertinent that the state didn't necessarily want that footage released because it could have been detrimental to their case.
But no, how would it be detrimental?
I'm not sure how they would see it as detrimental, but there could have been good reason.
Okay, well.
Can I try to be the peacekeeper here? I think that we all want to see as much footage as we can, but at the same time, there's a lot of legal stuff going on in the background that we're maybe not qualified to properly understand that might keep us from getting the footage that we want. But we all want as much footage as possible, right?
Yes, agreed. And it seems like the people who are calling for it, from what I saw today, was the people mostly calling for a release and to have this more transparent to the public was the prosecution, not the defense. Interestingly enough, it's a fact in detail that seems to be often left out of this.
Well, that has nothing to do with private or independent investigators. That's just unrelated. The defense may have their own reason for that. I'm talking about
just like the prosecution may have their own reason for that.
Yeah,
it's just funny.
they may.
It's just funny if the prosecution's doing its obstruction and they're withholding it from the public. If the defense is doing it, it's because, well, we want to make sure everybody gets a fair trial. It's just it's a bullshit double standard that you guys have.
Oh, I don't see the double standard. You mean how withholding the fact that Tyler met with a representative allegedly of TPUSA? You've left that out of this whole debate. So
You mean when
did
he
you
went
know
over
who
to
he met
talk?
with? Who do you suspect he met with?
You mean
with
when he went
TPUSA?
over and talked to people who were setting up the event that he was planning on killing a person at? That?
Yeah, that the prosecution left out of the report. Yes, to go back to what you were saying about
What are you
people
talking about? It came out in the hearing. What do you mean?
Right. Well, no, I think they left it out. It came out in the hearing, but they left it
Well,
out.
first of all, they didn't have a meeting. This wasn't some scheduled thing.
You don't
He
know
was
what it
casing the
is.
place.
You don't know.
He was casing the
He was
place to
casing. You're
murder it.
making
What are you
that
talking
up.
about?
You're making that
How am I
up.
making that up?
Hold on. Mr. Wilson, can you share your interpretation of that event?
Which event?
Him going up to and talking to TPUSA people. What do you think happened there?
Yeah, my understanding from the preliminary is that he made contact with him. And the reason essentially he was casing the joint and he was looking for avenues in which to later kill Kirk. That's my understanding of those events.
So maybe trying to find out exactly where Charlie was going to be sitting?
That wouldn't necessarily be it. He might have just asked blander questions. I don't remember if they went into the specific details of what was asked. But it could have just been like, is there an event today? Stuff like that. I'm not sure exactly what was asked.
Uncle Tom, what's your interpretation of what happened?
No, I'm not gonna speculate. I'll leave speculation to Andrew. I just know that it'd be my opinion that it's should be discussed. It should have been something that came out prior to the
I
prelim.
think it's a fair assessment because there was no real detail given to the interaction. All they said was that they met with TPUSA staff. So that you couldn't take that either way. But don't you think it was a detail that they should have actually pressed on and found out who the person was at TPUSA? Don't you think that's an important detail?
You don't actually know that they didn't push on that. You just
They
know
didn't.
what
They
was
didn't
given
bring it up.
to the. Yeah, this was a preliminary hearing.
Yeah, this
All
is
this-
just prelim.
So
Yeah.
they're trying to, but that's what I mean. They're trying to basically
They're
build
not
a
going to
case.
They're not going to try the entire case of the preliminary hearing. They're
I
just gonna
understand
get in-
that, but they're
Hang on,
going to
hang on,
put.
Stop, bro. Let me
Uh,
finish what I'm saying.
so okay.
So what they're going to do in the preliminary, all they have to do is show that they have probable cause. That's it. They
I
don't need to get
understand.
into all of the specific details of what was stated and who was met with and shit like that. That's an absurd standard, by the way.
No, well, I think it's something that should have been. It's a detail that's taken 10 months to come out. Like no one's heard that until this hearing, that there was an interaction between Tyler and
Why do they need
TPUSA
to?
staff. Because it could lead to motive. It could lead to anything. Like that's
and
a
those are
very
things that are
important
left to
point.
investigators who are investigating it, who clearly
what
knew
do you-
that this happened and are running an investigation.
Yeah, the
and
ones
not
who are
releasing
leaving
key
bullets
details
around,
to the public.
the ones leaving bullets and ammo and gun
That's not
cases around.
investigators. That's local police officers, not investigators.
Yeah, and just getting back to your point, where I understand it's a probable cause
It's
hearing.
not
Do you think
investigators
they
who are
put-
leaving bullets around, bro. It's just
They need-
absurd.
They need to put something forward that's going to convince the judge to take it to trial. Don't you think that in the TPUSA thing? Yeah, okay, maybe not. But do you think they've done that overall?
Yeah,
Like
of
with
course.
any of their evidence?
Yes.
What do you think the or the judge is going to use as justification to take it to trial? I think it's going to go to trial still. Don't get me wrong. But what do you think he's going to use as his justification and the
entire
benchmark?
text message thread where he admits to doing it? I mean,
Where's the admission to doing it? Hang on. He doesn't confess to it.
okay. Let's read through them together, shall we?
Yeah, if you want. I go.
Yeah. So we can see.
Are
what
you
the
Lance,
general-
Andrew? Are you going to be Lance
one
or are you
would
going to be Tyler?
Yeah, I'm just going to read the messages. I didn't say that we're going to role play.
Please don't. Just go read them.
Yeah. So, drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard. What? You're joking, right? I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. It shouldn't be long until I come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this a secret till I died of old age. Sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. So let me ask you a question. When he said why, and then he says, why did I do it? What do you think he's referencing there?
What did he say before? Right before that, and he said it wasn't you.
Wait, what? Which thing are you referencing? Read it.
What?
Read out. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing.
Yeah, right there.
To
Right
grab
there.
my
Hang on.
rifle.
Yeah, no, it's not there. Then they interrogated another person. Who was that? That was dressed
I
similar
have
to
no
me.
idea. He could just be wrong. Who knows? But he said, I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after.
So it could
But
have been
most of
wrong.
that side of town got locked down. It's quiet. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. When Robinson says, why did I do it? What do you think he's referencing there?
Yeah. So your whole premise
When
is that
Robinson
you think.
says, why did I do it?
Yeah,
What
I'm
do
agreeing.
you think he's referencing there?
I'm agreeing with you there. So the whole
No, I
premise.
want an
Just be an
answer to my
assumption.
fucking
It's
question, dude.
it.
I want a fucking answer.
No, I could
When
give an
he
answer.
said,
It's
why
just
did I
it. What
do
is
it? I'm not
it?
asking you. I'm not asking you. I'm asking him. When he says, why did I do it? I want a specific answer from you. What do you think he's referencing there? I don't want to hear I agree with you. I want to know what you think he's referencing.
Well, I don't know. I'm not his lawyer. But if
I don't
I'm his,
know.
if
I don't
I'm
know
his
what he's
lawyer,
referencing.
if
I
I'm
don't
his lawyer,
know.
I'm going to be asking, what is it?
Yeah. So what do you think he's referencing there? What?
Well, I'm not clear.
I'm not asking you to role play as his fucking lawyer. I'm asking you reading that when he says, why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. What do you think he's referencing there? What?
It.
Yeah, what is it? What is it?
That's your evidence. That's your evidence that you have.
Bro, answer the fucking question. What is he referencing?
The whole question is what you think is compelling to take it
if
to
you're not
trial.
going to answer the question,
Hey,
then just
no,
I don't
I
really
am.
care.
Your whole premise is that this is the confession that's enough to take it to trial. That's where we were That's where we started.
Yeah, I would definitely, if I read these text messages.
Okay.
And he said, why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred, and some hatred can't be negotiated out.
So you
When
think
he
that
said,
the
why
judge
did
is
I
going
do
to
it?
just use that
to take
he's trial?
Referencing? What do you think he's referencing? Why did I do what? What thing do you think he's referencing there?
I don't have to prove that. That's my point.
I'm not asking you to prove anything. I'm asking you personally what you think he's referencing there.
He had a meal at Dairy Queen.
He's referencing his meal at the Dairy Queen?
Yeah, maybe. Or did you dump the clothing? Did you dump the clothing at the cemetery that no one talks about?
So he had enough of the hatred of Dairy Queen?
Yeah, so when did he drive back to Penguin?
Hang on. I had enough of the hatred. Let's just see if this makes sense. Let's just insert Dairy Queen.
Yeah. I was being sarcastic, and
you
I
weren't the
was.
one who ate at Dairy Queen, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person who ate at Dairy Queen.
Okay, how about,
they grabbed
were you the one that dumped the clothing at the cemetery?
It's my turn.
I don't know what point you're trying to prove.
Yeah, just stop talking, dude. It's my turn. No, they
Okay,
grabbed
go.
some crazy old dude at Dairy Queen, then interrogated someone in similar clothing at Dairy Queen, and I had planned to grab my rifle and drop point shortly after at Dairy Queen. But most of that side of town got locked down, and it's quiet. Too quiet to grab his rifle from the Dairy Queen. And roommate says, why? Why did I do it at Dairy Queen? Yeah, because I've had enough of Dairy Queen's hatred. Some hatred just can't be negotiated out. You're right, dude. Sounds like the Dairy
They
Queen
had a
killer.
Superman poster in there, man. It's terrible.
Good Lord.
Like, you're being simply sarcastic, which doesn't really do you any favors.
You being
the
bad
point
faith
is, so you think
Dairy Queen is
no,
not
I'm
very
not.
helpful,
I'm not. You're being
bad faith.
I'm not being bad faith at all.
Then
so you think that's enough?
When he
You
said,
think
Andrew,
that's
do you
enough
have
to take to
information that the
trial?
rest of us don't?
When he said, why did I do it? What do you think he's referencing?
It could have been dumping the clothes at the cemetery that no one talks about.
Why is
How
he
about
dumping
that?
clothes? Why is he doing that?
I don't know. You tell me. No one talks about that.
Because he wants them dry cleaned at the Dairy Queen?
How did he get to Panguitch and back and have a steak and then get back and meet this copper at midnight?
What?
Well,
that's
Andrew, hold on, Muppet. Hold on. Before you switch to that, you're switching to timeline. Before we get into timeline, we can talk about. Hold on, Muppet. We can talk
all these
about
other
timeline.
factors that don't prove probable cause to take it to trial.
Of course they don't, but it's fine.
It doesn't prove probable cause. These text messages that say, why did I do it?
There's attorneys that have said that, though, Andrew. Like, we can rely on attorneys.
There's also lots of attorneys who haven't said that.
I haven't seen those attorneys, but you're more than welcome to share.
Bring up Ryan Mullally. He's a more qualified attorney.
He's not. What's his win rate?
Let's bring him up.
What's his win rate?
In front of this
Do you know what's his win rate? This guy.
don't know.
But that's okay.
That is
If you
his
think that's
roommate.
enough to take to trial, that was my point. That's if you think the judge is going to use that as the reason to take it to trial, then yeah, okay. That was the premise of the start of the question.
Sure.
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking you a question too, and I just want to know, what do you think he's referencing when he says, "Why did I do it?" What do you think he's referencing? Can you
Why does
answer in
that
good
matter?
faith?
Why does it matter? You ask them to make
Can
an
you
assumption.
just answer the question, bro?
I don't
can't say-
believe the text messages are his.
Okay,
So
exactly. That's what
that
I thought.
I can answer the silly
you
question
asked
you're
me to
asking, bro.
answer
It's
in
a
good
silly
faith.
question,
That's in good
I
faith.
did. I wanted the actual answer, and I'm glad I finally got it out of you. You don't even believe the text messages are real.
I don't know.
And what is the evidence for that?
How about the multiple changes that they've made to it along the line?
Okay,
and
let's
the
look at these.
timeline of where actually sent the text to Lance, and he's supposed to be in custody, but he still has his phone.
Yeah, we can go over
sending
the
messages.
timeline. Yeah, we can go over the timeline too. Can you tell me what is the best piece of evidence that these text messages even changed? Go ahead.
What they put out from the start, and then what they put out a few months ago. Well, the media that they said these are his messages.
Oh, so not so.
No. I'm talking about New York Times that said that these are his messages that he put out, and these are the text.
What was the New York Times article called? Do you remember?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay, so I can't actually reference the New York Times article to make a comparison to see what their source was for these messages. Is that right?
I'm happy to do that for you. I can put together.
I would really appreciate it.
And over the last 10 months, how those messages have changed. I can definitely do that for you.
All right, I got to be fair to some of these people, so
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna go.
I don't mean to hug.
Yeah, Joe, you were on YouTube. You requested, so I'm gonna get to you. Ozzy as well would like to get to you. Um, Josie, I got you up on stage just to tell you that you shouldn't lie about men. So this is a learning lesson for you. You lied about me, about
No, did I
my
lie
treatment
about
of the
you?
Wilsons. You said that I talk about them, and you just made up all this bullshit to probably try to get closer to them.
No,
So I need to tell
I didn't make it
Myron. I
anything.
need to tell Myron to control his bitches because I don't know what the fuck that was that you were trying to do the other night, but it's retarded. You're trying to say that, oh, we come into your 10-person spaces. Is this why are you coming into the spaces then? Is this a 10-person space? Yeah, that's what I thought, Josie. So stop lying about men. You claim to be like, you claim to not be a feminist, but you're trying to me too me. Like, stop. That's nonsense. Okay, so Ozzy, go ahead.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Wait, hang on. You didn't actually let Josie give a defense here. You told me that Josie was spreading lies about you and that I needed to confront her about it.
No, I didn't say you needed to confront her about it. I was just
you said I
letting
needed to correct. You said I needed to correct the record.
Yeah, because I thought you knew. So can you correct it? Because don't you know that I
I'm
didn't
not,
talk?
I actually, now that she's here, would like to get to the bottom of it and see what she's talking about when she says you're always talking shit about the Wilsons. When
She's
I
literally
would
gonna.
like to know.
I'm telling you, she's lying.
Josie can have my space, Tom. She can have my space.
Why can't I?
Well,
why don't I hear what she has to say?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Andrew, just DM her. I'm not gonna. No, just DM her. Just say, hey, what did he say?
No,
Where's
let's
your
let her
evidence?
talk.
Where's
so you
your
get
evidence?
to hang on. So you get to just
She just
call her a
did that to me
liar
the
so
other
that
night.
Yeah, but I don't know if what she's saying is true or not.
Right. So fine. So if you want to talk to her, talk to her. What do you mean?
I'm asking if I can talk to her right now.
I said no already, bro.
Why? That's not even what the
Because I wanna
space is about.
Because I want to know if what you're saying is
Whatever.
true or
You're
not.
fucking.
If it's not what the space was about, then why the fuck did you address it right now?
Bro, let's talk about the topic.
Because I felt like it. Yeah.
Time, bro. Like,
Oh, because I wanted to. Okay,
Because
why
I
do you like
want.
addressing it right now too? Great.
Okay, well, you're just fucking drama farming like I am, but that's fine. If you want to drama
What do you
farm,
mean? What are you talking about? I'm using the same standards you are. You brought it up because you felt like it. Great, I brought it up because I felt like it too. So
okay,
let's hash it
so
out.
just to get this
We're
clear,
charitable. We can agree. Let's let her speak.
so
Let's let her speak.
that would mean one of us is lying. So you think I'm actually lying? Is that correct?
I'm just, dude. I just
Do
want to
you
hear what she
think
has to
do you
say.
think I'm lying?
I
Do you
don't
think?
think either of you are lying until I hear
What?
what's actually being alleged.
Okay, yeah. Let's hear what that's fine. We can hear what's being
Bro, are
alleged.
you serious right now, man?
I don't know. He wants to do it. That's
Come on,
fine.
son. I want to address the silly question he asked Muppet, man, but I guess
Yeah,
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
on. We can get back to the silly question here in a second.
All
But
right.
for now,
That's
could we
fine.
just
Put a
address this?
time cap, man.
Yeah, let's do a time
I gotta
cap.
go to
Fine.
bed, man. I can come back another
Great.
time.
Yeah, come back another time. But anyway, go ahead. I want to hear this.
All right, Josie, I gave you a mic.
This is short bus special level. Okay. Dude, I don't know who you are.
What are you so she's lying then. You're lying. So I'm
No.
removing you
No,
again.
hold on.
She
Hold
literally
on.
just
Hold
said she
on.
doesn't.
Can you
Andrew,
let her
is
make
that
her case? Can you
bro?
just
She
let her
just
make
said
her
she
case?
doesn't know who I am.
Dude, you haven't even let her make the case. Just let her make the case, and then we'll figure it out.
You
It'll
motherfucker,
literally
fucking
take a few
drama
minutes.
farming, bro.
Bro, I just want to hear it. I just want to hear the case.
All right. Origin, I'm gonna let you go too. I'm gonna let you go.
You're doing that because you know you're full of shit.
Okay,
Just saying.
sure.
Okay.
Where's your evidence?
Right here.
Okay, sure. Tell me where I talk shit about the Wilsons, please, because it doesn't exist.
I don't know, every time you're having a conversation, you're always quote unquote playing some devil's advocate. I didn't say you claim
It's recorded,
that
ma'am.
you were yeah, exactly. It's recorded. Do you want to pull it up?
Yes, I can pull it up. I will.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay, but go while I'm pulling it up. Go ahead and say whatever it is you're gonna say. I like. Hopefully, you have some kind of proof that I talk shit about the Wilsons. So let me just so we're correct, just so we're on the same page. Feminists hate me because I talk shit about feminists, but I also talk shit about people counter to feminism. Okay, so tell me how this makes sense. And tell me how I did that. I'd like to hear it.
I just hate stupid men, not stupid.
Okay, so
I
can you
hate stupid people in general. But
substantiate? Are you just gonna me too me? Basically, you're just me tooing me.
what do you mean me too? Me to you? What are you talking about?
You just want
Me to you?
attention.
Like
You're
there's
just a
no.
woman that wants attention. You know nothing
Oh my
about
god, you're
this
making
case.
shit up. It's fucking incredible.
Okay,
Okay,
so
here's where we're going with this. Every single time. Okay, you
I'm
claim.
listening. I'm
You
listening.
hold on. Hold on. You claim that you've always been so supportive of the Wilson. That's not true. We both know that's not true.
What? Yeah, but where's your evidence for this? When
I
have I
don't
not
need
been
any
supportive?
evidence, dear. I mean, don't believe me if you don't want to. I don't think Andrew gives a shit.
Okay, Andrew is like.
Oh no, he gave
What are
a
we
shit.
doing
He
here?
fought for you to come up stage. Yeah, he fought very hard for
I
you to
mean,
come up
clearly
stage.
you're doing spaces about him, like literally about him. At this point, why does it even matter?
Okay.
I thought
I
that
thought the
was set
allegation was
straight.
against Tom. What is it?
That was a good commercial break. Come on, man. Let's carry on.
I thought the record was set pretty straight here.
What is it?
Okay, I
Well,
have the
obviously you had
recording.
a point of
So
contention. Obviously, that you had a point of contention with the Wilson, which led to multiple spaces and debates, which are available on YouTube to watch. Clearly, you guys had some disagreements before, but just don't sit here and say you've been very supportive of the Wilson all along. Like it's been for a minute that you've had disagreements with them.
I've never
Just
seen
don't be
it.
full of
Who is
shit.
the Wilson?
Where are
Is
the
that Andrew?
allegations? Yeah, so I just want to point this out to you, Josie, so that you know. Tom has actually been a fan of mine for a long time. Maybe he wouldn't admit that he's a fan, but we've talked for months behind the scenes and argued various things back and forth. I'm not sure that I would consider him a friend, but I would definitely consider him friendly and willing to engage with me. I know that he disagrees with me, but I haven't actually seen him out talking tons of shit about me. I'm just saying. I haven't actually seen that.
yeah, because it doesn't exist. Yeah, and I have been a fan. So I think you read too much into it, Josie. I'll let it slide. I still think Myron needs to control his bitches. So
I'm not Myron's bitch, so
yeah,
I don't know why you need
yeah,
to bring it there.
but well, why do you
Clout
need to
chasing.
say what you needed to say the other night? So
Because what you said was absolutely short bus special. Not to say the R word, because I don't know if some people are streaming this on
yeah, we're
YouTube.
streaming. Okay, this is not entertaining anymore. But anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, why do you make stuff up about me though? Because you literally just did.
Oh, well, I have it recorded here. I'll play it. That's fine.
You're just making a lot of this up.
All right, hold on.
Bullshit. Co-agent, and you interview. She
Here we go.
I know what I said.
Well, why'd you say
I
play
know
it?
what I said. You don't need no. You don't need to play this. I said what I
No,
said, which
he
will
needs to
this will
play
only
it.
validate it.
He needs to play it.
Okay. I wonder if maybe she's not connected. Oh, there she is. Josie, did you have a question or something you wanted to say? Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, sorry. There was like your voice was like looping, like echoing. That was kind of annoying. Yeah. First of all, Uncle Tom, I'm sorry. You're literally retarded. Okay, that's number one. Number two, like you go put when you go quote somebody. Like I'm sorry, I don't recall Myron ever saying that he believed that Tyler Robinson isn't the guy who shot Charlie Kirk. He did say that there were inconsistencies with the 30 out 6 narrative, but that he wanted to wait until the trial because that's just the smart thing to do, and I 100% agree with him. So I think if you want to pick on something controversial with Myron, there's plenty of topics to pick from, but this one ain't it, bro. Okay, so stop being a retard. Okay, understand that you probably get more views than you normally get when you talk about that stuff because people are retarded. Okay, but this ain't it. Um, don't be bullshitting that you were always supporting Andrew and Rachel, okay? Like every single time I would like find in one of your like 10 people's face, you were like talking shit. So please. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a lie.
Yeah.
You just lied. So you straight up lied. You're trying to me too me, and it's for it's
What do
for
you mean by me tooing
attention.
you? Me too you. Like explain that one
Well,
because I'm sorry, I never made a me too allegation.
Look, he's got a point. You came into the space and said, "I don't even know who you are," but you do know who he is, and you said that you've been in a bunch of his various spaces, and inside of those
Here and
spaces,
there.
hang on, and inside those spaces, he's been talking shit about the Wilsons, and now the rubber meets the road, where the proof of the allegation is on the line, and he's requesting it, and I think that that's completely appropriate for him to do, Josie. To be perfectly frank with you.
Okay, maybe I was speaking hyperbole, or how do you say that? A metaphor of exaggeration, perhaps. However,
Bullshit.
however,
AKA
can I
lies and
finish my point?
bullshit.
Can I finish my point? Can I finish my
AKA
point?
lies and bullshit.
Can I finish my point? Speaking of lies and bullshit, we can talk about all the narratives that you want to put out there about Turning Point USA, but that's not a topic of discussion here. So here is every single time that you've got a space, as for some reason you always got to play devil's advocate about whatever the Wilsons are up to.
Josie, babe, do you see how he took accountability though, and like you kind of like refused to do that?
Okay, I'm sorry that I exaggerated for the sake of
Well,
exaggerating.
thank you. I
Lies.
like. Well, see
Bullshit.
that does show
Are you gonna
something that I
apologize
appreciate.
for?
I can appreciate that. Sorry, I do. I want to move the space on, Josie, but I appreciate that. A lot of women definitely don't do that, especially on
Well, I
this
bet you're
app.
glad we fucking cleared it up now, huh, Tom? Ye of little faith. Never have no fucking faith, Tom. You never have any fucking faith.
Well, hey, I'm glad. I'm glad we did. Origin, I know you're ready to go to bed, so what did you have to say, Origin?
I want to know why he was asking that question about the bullet to Muppet so fiercely, as if it had any relevance to anything.
I
Because
didn't
Muppet,
ask him about a bullet.
he said, yeah, you did. He said, well, sorry, you asked him about what he thought it was, and he
Yeah.
actually answered the question. The answer was like not good enough, and it's like he could have answered it.
What was
like
his
2 or 3
answer?
different. He said it. He said it. He said I don't know, and he said it, and you didn't accept it.
No,
When
he
you
said
ask them,
Dairy Queen. That's what he said was Dairy Queen.
no, you tried to force the question of like 6, 7 times, if not
Yeah,
more,
so
and he
do
did,
you so let's go over hang on, I'll go over the
and he
context for
answered
you.
it.
Yeah, great.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I'll go over the context. The context was, Andrew, what do you think would be the best evidence for why this should end up in trial? Meaning that it should move out of the realm of a show cause and into a trial. Meaning, what's the probable cause for this? Which is what the hearing is about. And I said the confessions. And he said, but there's nothing in the confessions that would give any sort of cause for this.
Hang on. Whoa, they're not confessions. Use the right word.
I mean,
They damn well are confessions.
They sure look like confessions to me,
No,
bro.
they're not. They're not confessions.
That's why
It's a message exchange that's very questionable.
That's why we're quibbling over what it means. Because the quibble is he's saying, no, that's not a confession. So if I ask the referent then, well, what is it that he's referencing if it's not a confession? You say, well, I don't know. I think to a reasonable person, if you're trying to show cause, that line right there would be enough to show that there's probable cause here to move this on to a trial, that most rational people would see that as confession.
Well, rational if the message exchange is accurate and complete and it's verified that
but hang on.
came from his phone to
I
his
understand
phone.
that's your opinion, but I'm asking Oracle, how is that unreasonable for me to ask? If he's asking me what would actually move this, what in your mind is a piece of evidence that you could point to?
Yeah.
What is a piece of evidence that you can point to, Andrew? This is to Oracle now, that you would reference as being something that's probable cause. And I said the fact that he's confessing in these text messages. He says these aren't confessions. My counter is, well, then what is he referencing here with it? When we have the context plainly, I think to most rational people looks like he's referencing it as he's killing Charlie Kirk, right? That's what he's referencing there.
No, not exactly.
So if I
came
could
from the
speak now,
note, right?
Hold on one second, Muppet. Hold on one second, right?
Okay.
So Mr. Antoine, here's what we're gonna do.
Andrew, my name is Andrew.
Oh, okay. My name is Origin, not Oracle. So yeah, what we're gonna do here is when you ask them it, right? You've been preaching
I don't know
about
what axe means, bro. What does axe mean?
it's the same thing Antoine means.
I
So
don't know what axe means. You got to clarify for me.
Yeah, I don't know
If
what
you're gonna
Antoine
axe,
means.
I don't
either.
know what axing, like what's axing a
Hey,
question.
bro, I don't. Yeah, like I was saying,
Bro,
Muppet.
he's from New York. What the fuck? Do you know what an
Bro,
accent
listen,
is? Andrew, do you know what an accent
We
is?
don't even
Can
got to
people have
explain.
an
Listen,
accent?
Uncle Sam, you know me. You know how I pack these people up. So he could keep trying. But like I said, right? I was axing, right?
You were axing? I
Yeah,
still don't know what you're
I was
referencing,
asking.
bro.
Oh, got you. Well, just listen. Um, with the whole it, right? Muppet said, I don't know, right? Multiple times, right? And you're a person that's been preaching, oh, that's speculation. This is speculation. Yeah, you ask them a speculative question, right? Now, you're not wrong about the probable cause. However, right, probable cause is one of the second to lowest tier when it comes to proving anything. So for you to ask
I don't
him
disagree.
so for you to keep asking him a speculative question, he answered it, and you continue to press forward is very
No, it would
disingenuous
be
of
the
you.
opposite of disingenuous.
No, it's not because you
Hang
preached
on,
against.
you
No, no,
tell me
no.
when
You
I
hang
can
on.
respond.
No,
I'll
Origin,
tell
don't
you when it's
talk over it. Nobody
Yeah.
talk over it.
he was talking over me. I wasn't done.
No, dude,
So
you were
I'm just saying,
finished.
I
You
just said
literally
nobody
paused.
talk
You
over
were
all
done,
right. So
and it was my turn.
but I didn't say it was done. I didn't do
Okay,
this.
well,
You
I'll
want
tell
to
you what.
go?
You tell me when you're done. Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you when I'm done. Definitely. Thank you. So
May I
like I said,
finally ask a question?
No,
After
this
he's
is why I
done.
didn't bring you up. I knew you were gonna spurg Melanie. Just quiet down.
You did though.
Yeah, can
You
you
brought me
just
up.
let
How
him?
else?
Can you just let him ask the question?
Yep, I'm gonna ask the question. So yeah, when you
Dad.
preach, no, this is speculation. Everybody come up here with their different answers and stuff like that. You kept refuting. Oh my gosh, why you bringing up speculation? But yet you asked him a speculative question multiple times, and he answered it, and you still push forward with it as if it was something really concrete because of your opinion is that he's talking about the killing when in actuality we don't know. It's just probable cause. So that's very disingenuous of you.
Yeah, but
If you want me to ask it again.
if you wanna,
Hang
if
on,
you
hang on.
want,
Are you done? Are you done?
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. I'm done, Antoine.
Okay, great. So now that you're done, I'll respond. So everything is going to be based around the context of what we're talking about. You just admitted with me that when you're talking about a probable cause hearing, this is a very low threshold. And so when I'm asked what would be evidence which you could use to support probable cause, and I pointed out, and you're arguing that fact that no, I don't think that this would show probable cause, then I ask you, well, then what are we referencing here? What does a rational person think this means? That would be to the probable cause aspect of this. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man.
So I
No,
didn't
it
want
would not
to. I
be the
didn't want to
probable
play
cause.
lawyer
My fault.
before,
Were you
but
done?
because I'm not a lawyer, right? But if you want to go down that road, when he says it, he's referring to what Lance read on the note. Okay, so do you know what was on the note? Because that's what he's saying. When Lance says,
well,
you didn't do it, did
yes,
you?
we
That's
do.
what he's
Actually,
referencing.
Yeah, we do know what's on the note, actually.
Do we? How?
Yeah, well, we at least know what was shown in the hearing that was on the note.
Yeah, because that was. I didn't want to play this game with you before. I just wanted to find out the answer. But if you want to actually debate it, like, I'm happy to debate it because that's what it.
Yeah,
That's
Luna,
what it
if you
actually
are
is.
reading this per my text, then I'm so sorry. I left the house this morning on a mission and set an auto text. I'm likely dead or facing lengthy prison sentence. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it. That seems like if he's referencing it, right?
So
Did you
that's.
do
But
it?
this is what you're
Then he
saying.
would be
You're
referencing taking out
claiming.
Charlie Kirk.
You're claiming this is what was on the note. That's yeah. So where's the note that was on?
Andrew, do you mind if I intrude? I'm sorry.
Yes,
to
we
interrupt.
mind. We mind. There's a list here.
Feminism.
I've been begging. I've been
Political.
really
I
wanting to ask Mr.
understand
Muppet a
that.
question.
I understand you do. So does everybody else. Why do you think they're here? Political. What did you have something?
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me on. Andrew, how's it going? I'm a big fan.
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Right after this happened, there was a large group of people who were talking about the fact that the Discord was a major issue. Like, people were posting on X that we knew this something's going to happen to Charlie or something's going to happen at this event. My theory is that the people on the Discord know. I don't think any of the nations or any of the political organizations had anything to do with it. I think it more than likely is a leftist plot from these sycophants to the LGBT community and all that, all the extremists on that side. That makes more logical sense to
Yeah,
me
but
than.
that's the same position that Andrew has. So I got to go on to DUH. Go.
Okay, can I pose a question to everybody real quick?
No, Doug, go.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Hello.
We were gonna debate the other night, but I didn't want to get on camera, so I'm glad to speak to you.
Okay. I think I usually caveat if you don't want to do a public debate, it's either in the Discord or in like a space like this or something.
Yeah, it's just a burner account that I'm building back up, so I'm getting back into spaces after being out for a while.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, just a couple short questions, and then one that might create a little bit longer of a talk, but I'll start with those first. Based on the evidence that's been provided already, the stuff you've been talking about, how you feel about the trial and how you feel about Tyler Robinson seems pretty black and white. You do have some room for, there might be a conspiracy, there might be this, but it does seem like you have a pretty good lock on the fact that you think
Well, can you
Tyler did this,
just
correct?
very quickly, can you just state my position so that I know you know it?
I believe you think Tyler Robinson did it, but you're open to other alternatives if the evidence provides.
Yeah, so I would just caveat that with one thing. I think that was a decent steal, man. I would just caveat it with, as far as what evidence proves thus far, I think that the evidence which shows that Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk has the most explanatory factor from a theoretical virtue standpoint and from an evidentiary factor, and that I have seen no evidence to any contrary theory thus far. That's my my actual position.
Okay. Well, we disagree on a lot of things, but I actually pretty much agree with that to the most extent. I think I have a lot more room for the possibility of some kind of state involvement or some kind of deeper conspiracy than you probably do. But as far as what you just said, I don't really disagree. Knowing that, and let's just say the trial keeps going as it has been going, do you think that, let's say, there's no confession from Tyler,
Well,
there's no clear,
there's no trial yet, right?
sorry, the pre-trial, the hearing in the
Well, the
beginning and then the
preliminary
trial.
is over.
I understand. Sorry about
Okay.
the confusion. I think I just mean the procession of the trial and as we go through this event.
Well, there
Um,
is no trial procession or anything like that yet, right? This was just a preliminary hearing.
as I know, as we go through it, we're going to. So I'm trying to
Mhm.
lead to something that's going to happen afterwards.
Okay.
Um, do
I
you
understand.
believe? Okay. Would you, based on the evidence that's been provided, and as I said, let's say there's no confession by Tyler, there's nothing explosive and completely uh, exculpatory of Tyler, anything that happens, do you think that you would push for the federal government to push charges if he's not convicted? Are you that convinced of his guilt based on the evidence that's been provided so far? Would you push the federal government to then, like, I don't know, domestic terrorism or something like that because you think he did something? Or would you kind of give it up and say, hey, he had his day in court and that's it?
It depends on what the evidence showed.
Let's just imagine it's the same evidence we're looking at now.
Where there has been no defense, no nothing, without the
Just the
totality of
evidence.
it.
Just the evidence.
Yeah, if all we had was the evidence with no defense dispute, especially on the text messages, then yeah, I would definitely. If I was on the jury, I would definitely fucking say he was guilty. Yeah.
I mean, as your channel, would you then promote, like, you deal in these things, you talk about these things? Would you then move to, after not him being not convicted? Would you then not move the goalpost? That has some disingenuous kind of.
Wait, hang on. Let me make sure I got this right. Are you asking me what if he was found not guilty?
If he was found not guilty, yeah.
I see. I understand. Based on just the evidence that's here right now, you mean?
The camera footage, the notes, the gun that the family, I guess, hasn't, to my knowledge, said doesn't belong to the grandfather and was gifted to him. Like, everything we've seen so far and how you're operating online, you seem pretty
Yeah,
confident.
if it was the case that we're in a vacuum and none of the facts to date change, the defense offers nothing further, and this was all the evidence to date, and somehow he still got acquitted, then yeah, I would be still pretty confident that that Robinson did do this. Yes.
And then also, would you continue to promote it? I mean, if you really think that, I'm trying to get at the fact that I feel like you do seem passionate about this. You do seem like you care about justice being carried out. And if you think that, won't you continue to use your pretty large platform to keep pushing for it, or will you just forget about it?
I think I would still talk about it and discuss it, sure.
But would you cover it? I mean, it's if the guy gets off killing one of the most prominent conservative leaders.
I'm sure I would still discuss it. I don't think that this will ever be the body of any of the content that I would do, like ever. One of the reasons I covered this a lot more in the last few weeks is because we're heading into the preliminary, and because this is the story of the day. You know what I mean?
Just like trending topics. You're using your channel. You're combining the fact you're making money off it with the fact that you actually believe it, right?
Well, the money factor is always nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't honestly, a dig.
Honestly, for me, I enjoy the kind of back and forth and this type of thing when it comes to these types of issues, and I'm pretty well known for it. So yeah, I would definitely cover it still. Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to get that cleared up because I'm honestly interested to see how, because this is one of the first big assassinations.
You're gonna tie this into, isn't that what Candace is doing? I'm guessing.
I mean, no, but that's a good. I think that's a relevant point. But that's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
I'm just saying this is the first. I'm in my early 30s. This is the first big assassination of my lifetime. So it's interesting to see how the internet reacts to it, and so I'm interested to see how these people who've been talking about it and commenting on it. I'm interested to see how they move forward once there's either a guilty or not guilty verdict. I have my guesses, but I don't have any concrete evidence, obviously. So that's what I'm asking. Second, you mentioned earlier that you were for no gun registry, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And this gun wasn't registered. It was, oddly enough and uniquely enough, and I think you would agree, weirdly enough, it's not impossible, but it is strange that it's an unregistered weapon. But they got lucky because they got the guy before, and then they
No, I think in most states now it's the case that long arms aren't registered. especially if you have one that's
Hey,
old.
Andrew, I hate to do this to you. Can we listen to Barron's in a space for maybe the first time? Would you be open to listening to what he's saying?
So my
Is
counter to
he in
that
a space
is,
with me?
I think the judge.
He's not.
Then I don't give a
The
shit.
defense was asking.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
Okay, I was kind of pulling that back to like not having a gun registry. Wouldn't that make if let's say things like this happen in the future? Because you were arguing that it's or insinuating that it's a lone gun person that could easily happen again to somebody somewhere
Mhm.
else. Won't not registered firearms make that the job of these intelligence agencies and people that investigate this? Won't that make it harder for them to?
Oh, well, I mean, almost certainly that's the case. So that would be true of any object. It's like if you outlawed swimming pools, isn't the case that drowning deaths would go down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Any object you could tie this to. It wouldn't matter what it was.
But I mean, won't cases like this be significantly harder to solve if you can't have it? Like, let's firearm, specifically firearms. Won't it be significantly harder for these intelligence
Yeah,
agencies
but
unless they're?
that would be the case with anything. Yes.
But this is we're talking about assassinations. I mean, we're not talking about anything. We're not talking about swimming pool deaths.
Yeah,
Like,
so I mean the concessions in the point. So I'm giving the
okay,
concessions like sure. I'm sure if we had like a Japanese style registration system, that these would be much easier to solve. Or if we had a UK style registration system, sure.
Okay.
So, but so what?
But
what?
just like with the first point, I'm not trying to get you on anything. I'm trying to get your stances on something and understand how you think. The last one, and I'll get off after that if we discuss whatever this is. We kind of got into it the other day on Twitter. Not got into it, but we talked about it, and you gave me some answers on what you think. And one of the things that I asked was a set of 3 yes or no questions, and you answered one of those. That first one being that it was understandable why some reasonable people believe that it's hard to trust government agencies and hard to trust official stories given their history of deception and classification and things like
Of
that.
course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, and that, I think that kind of is what all brings all these people together. Because yes, you have conspiracy people who just want to wear a tinfoil hat and talk about crazy shit or make money, but there's a significant amount of the population that just looks at this and goes, "No, I don't buy this yet, or I might not ever buy this."
I don't know if that statement's true, the significant amount of the population part, but I agree with you that
I don't think we'd even be in here if there wasn't a significant amount of people.
That's not a good representation. And my counter to that's easy. The kind of online push against Trump from the dissident right wing space and how much chatter was about it online was definitely ever present, but all of Trump's primary candidates won. So what happens in Main Street doesn't necessarily float from what's going on online.
No, but it did with JFK.
So hang on.
Not
So
with
hang on.
internet.
Hang on. I'm almost done. Then I'll tie it off.
Okay.
So what's going on online is not necessarily a representation of Main Street. So when you say a significant portion of the population, I'm not willing to just accept that.
Okay. Well, then you think that a significant portion of the population doesn't exist, which doesn't trust intelligence agencies and federal officials. You're willing to say you don't think that significant population exists.
That's not what the claim was. The claim was a vast majority of the population doesn't, or it has resistance to this specific.
This is a symptom. The reason that the conspiracy theory,
but
we
I
talked
don't
about
think
this.
that, I'm not sure that they do. I do think that much of the public at large, especially post COVID, questions most things that come out of the government's mouth. Absolutely.
But I mean, that's significant to this issue. The fact that there's so many people online or in Main Street who talk about the fact that, hey, I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, I
don't buy that.
Yeah, I agree that there's a tie-in. The question here is, to what degree is the tie-in for? Because I generally distrust government agencies, therefore I distrust that this in fact happened. That's where you run into a problem.
Not really. If I'm a person on Main Street or on digital spaces and I don't trust what the government tells me readily or easily, it doesn't matter whether it's Charlie Kirk or COVID or whatever else. I'm going to have a certain amount of skepticism that I wouldn't have if I did trust the government.
That doesn't mean that you would necessarily have a lot of skepticism about this particular thing. That's the problem. You're making one logical leap forward that doesn't need to be there.
You think a politically themed assassination doesn't fit into the category of something that people are usually skeptical of?
That's not what I said. What you're doing here is you're conflating two different things.
Okay.
If you start with the idea that post-COVID, most people question what comes out of the
I don't even think it's post-COVID. I think it's before that.
But post-COVID, it's way worse. Can we
absolutely.
Okay, so post-COVID, most people and even if I'm granting most, I'm not even sure it's most, but let's just grant it for the sake of argument. Question official government narratives, sure, but that doesn't mean that most people question all government narratives. Like, for instance, people aren't going to be questioning the narrative of the last government fucking financial report, right? Most people aren't going to be doing that. Most people aren't going to there's lots of narratives you're not going to question.
No,
And
but
then there's a lot of narratives that they are going to question. That's where you make the one logical leap forward that I can't get on board with.
No, I think they definitely question financial reporting. I used to work for Amex. Like people look at those reports. If
Not
it was
a majority, though.
if it was as easy as looking at financial
not a
reporting and making money,
majority.
everybody would do it. But
not a majority.
There's insider
That's my
trading.
point.
There's
I get it,
I
but
never
it's
said a
not a
majority. I said
majority.
significant. Significant is not a majority.
I don't even know if it would be significant for things like that. Significant meaning
25%.
what?
1 out of 4 people.
I'm not even sure that I would say that. Like, I think that if somebody came out and said, "Hey, you know, projected gas prices are projected to go up, 13 cents by next month," I think that probably less than 25% would refute. Would be like, "Oh,
I'll concede that. I don't believe it's true, but just to move past it.
yeah."
If a news story comes out and a prominent political commentator is shot by a lone gunman from a roof with a long gun,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think there's at least 25% of the population that are going to look at the government story and go, I don't buy it. At least at first, they're going to have serious resistance to it compared to what they would if they trusted it. You don't think that number is 1 out of 4?
Yeah, on this particular case, I'm not sure on the Tyler Robinson narrative specifically.
No, on the case itself. On the case itself, involving a long gun on a roof.
Yeah, question what narrative though? Are you asking?
You don't think there's a historical record of that's imprinted in people's minds to
but
go?
I'm asking you, what narrative do you think they're questioning?
Any of it. There's literally a significant amount of the population.
So the Tyler Robinson narrative.
That's inclusive. That's not the umbrella.
Well, what else would it be that they were questioning then? That's the only.
Whether there were state actors involved.
Coming out of the state.
No, whether there were state actors involved, whether there was other things being held.
That's not coming from the government.
No, they question the narrative.
Your whole theory.
No, wait a minute. I'm not promoting a theory.
From government.
I'm not
government. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying that you're saying thing come from government, therefore you question.
Yes,
the only thing that's coming from the government is the specific idea that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. Not that there's a bunch of other things. So that would be the narrative. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
So that would be the narrative they're questioning, right?
But you're redefining the word question, because someone could question the narrative of Tyler Robinson doing it and therefore theorize there was something else. Like, because you questioned
that has
it.
No bearing on anything.
If the government does the government not come out and say, did Bibi Netanyahu not come out and say it's insane that we have anything to do with it and things like that? That becomes part of the government's narrative. Everything that comes, if the head of a state comes out within a week of an assassination, you don't think that becomes part of the government narrative when they're our ally and they're already suspected by crazy people?
What does that have to do with the Kirk assassination?
He came out
from the government, but like, what is the government affirming or not affirming there?
Because the government said Tyler Robinson.
You've never said any foreign agency was involved in this.
So no, I'm not. You're talking about. We're talking about questioning. You're talking about positing. Questioning the narrative means like, hey, I question the fact that this was a lone gunman. Questioning the fact that
so they're questioning the Robinson narrative.
But questioning the lone gunman theory necessitates what? If I question the fact that there's a lone guy pulling the gun, what is the inference that you can make from what I think? It means I think there was more than one gun, or I think or he was involved in a conspiracy.
You're taking that one step logically forward. Where it doesn't
walk me through that.
So the idea here that I say, hey, I don't believe that, doesn't mean that I have to posit an alternative necessarily.
If I don't believe it's a lone gunman, what do I believe?
That it's not a lone gunman. It doesn't mean that you have an alternative to posit, as these people have been telling me.
That's the first disingenuous thing you said. If I sit there and I say, no, I don't believe it was a lone. Lee Harvey Oswald, do you believe he acted alone? No. Do you think I just now think that JFK's head exploded? Or do I think, no, somebody else was involved? Like, I get what you're saying, and yes, there might be a technicality of someone not positing something all the time, but the average person, when they say Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone, or I don't believe
so what you're asking me specifically is, if an average person then gives this question like, no, I don't think it's a lone gunman, do I think that the average person could then make inferences that there's more than one gunman?
No, I think by saying I don't believe there's one gunman, you are implicitly saying
I believe either someone else was involved, something else was involved, or there were more guns. Like you're making
No,
a claim.
that doesn't follow.
What are you saying? If there's not a lone gunman, you just believe nothing happened?
No, you could just posit nothing. You could just say I'm not sure.
You could, and my argument was that 25% of the population does what I just described, and I think anything from
Well, I
what
don't
the
know how
polls
you
go
could
on
ever. I
JFK.
don't know how you could ever demonstrate that, bro.
You don't think that historical polls about what the government, if the people believe the government stories, if people believe the JFK
Yeah,
assassination, if people believe
I think that the idea of polls for distrusting the government doesn't help your case here. If
specifically about assassinations, specifically about CIA,
25%
specifically.
plus people say that this is all nonsense, that I don't know. I don't know. I think that that's one logical step forward, too many forward.
By 1967, 66% of the population believed that JFK didn't do it, despite the brainwashing,
That
despite
has
the.
nothing to do with anything.
That's
I
a
don't know what does that have to do with
that's a
anything?
historical precedent. When a lone
Which
gunman,
has what to do with this question?
a
What does it have
historical
to do with
precedent
it?
has something to do with the question that's asked later.
What? What does it have to do with the question of how
Americans
many
don't
people believe
trust
or
the
don't
state.
believe the Tyler Robinson narrative?
Americans.
I agreed with that though.
But that's what I'm saying. You agree with me, and then when I go to the next part of it, you say it's a logical leap, and then when I say there's no logical leap,
Because it is. Listen, I'll break it down for you. There's two huge logical leaps you make on two presuppositions that you shouldn't be making. And I don't even think that they're necessary for you to make whatever the case is that you're trying to. The first one is
I'm not even trying to make a case. I'm
because
trying to ask you a
hang on,
question.
just chill, bro. So I can clarify. Here's the two logical leaps that you make. The first logical leap is because people show distrust towards the government in certain cases or show distrust towards the government in general, that means they show distrust to the government in this particular case, in this particular like 25 percentile plus. That's a huge logical leap